Welcome, welcome back to the Modern Streamers League. I have here with me Francisco Pavluchek and Noble Murloc, Scott Spurlock himself. We got a really fun modern night of modern action, one of those two. You decide.
All of the above.
All of the above. We have a revenge story tonight. We have two players being eliminated tonight, and we have one player who will no longer be undefeated before tonight's over. Francisco, you just streamed a bit. You just streamed a bunch, right? How'd that go earlier today? How you doing?
Dude, I streamed alright. Yeah. No, I've been streaming some. I've been brewing a little bit. Usually, I set up a schedule, so I play amulets on Mondays and Thursdays, and on Tuesdays I play brews. So I brewed up a cat cat combo, but not the cat combo that you think about. This is Thopter Foundry, and the cat is Lurus. So it was fun though. It was fun. You can't beat a Dracitron, which I found out, but but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time.
Turns out Thopters don't do very well against Karn the Great Creator, or against Engineered Explosives, or any of those good. Blast Zone was a real pain when I was playing with Thopter Foundry. Mr. Murloc, though, you've been out of Magic for a little bit, and here you are back, an original OG member of the Modern Streamers League. We have Team Ice representing in full and strong tonight.
Hell yeah.
How are you doing? We have
I'm doing fantastic.
Is this the sexy Murloc? And yes, it is.
Yeah, I haven't been completely out. I've been playing Arena. I've been playing a lot of Standard, not as much Modern, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm so excited to be back. Been watching every week. Can't wait to watch some action tonight.
Well, we're actually going to lead things off tonight with the winners bracket, and the winner of this is going to have a much easier path to the championship, as you'll see in the brackets, which we'll show in just a moment. Basically, if you lose, you have to really, really fight hard to get to the championship. It's a triple elimination tournament where each player brings 3 decks. And when a deck loses, it's eliminated, and you play until you have no more decks left. I have 1 deck left. Francisco, unfortunately, was eliminated a little bit ago. We're not going to say by who, though. Don't want to bring up a sore subject here in stream. It was
don't bring it out. Astro Ren did well. Astro Ren did well. It made me proud.
Well. And the deck tech was great too. Check out our YouTube channel. You can definitely see that deck tech. I'll try to post that as a separate link as well with all the deck techs once the league is over. And definitely check out Francisco's stream to see more Astral Ren. But we have the championship, the undefeated players, Capolo and Viral Drake Sasser, playing to lead things off tonight. Both of these players still have 3 deck lists left. So it's a little bit of interplay. Which deck list are they going to pick against their opponent's 3 deck lists, and why? Because this is a open deck list tournament. They both know the 3 deck lists that could be sitting across the table from them, or across the MTGO universe from them. So it should be very interesting in seeing how this plays out. Francisco, who do you pick as an early favorite, Capolo or Viral Drake?
Well, having no idea about which decks you're going to pick, I have to go with Drake. He was my first loss, and he's been killing it. He has been killing it throughout the entire tournament. He's also been killing it historically, and actually, I know for a fact that historically, Andrea and Drake played in a Legacy GP, and Drake kicked Andrea's butt. So
a little bit of a revenge story, perhaps, here tonight.
It stands to reason that there's going to be some ass kicking again.
All right. What do you think? You are friends with both of them, Mr. Murloc. Who do you think? Which undefeated player is going to leave here tonight still undefeated?
Yeah, I've known Drake for a little bit, and I've known Capolo for a while. I think, though, Capolo is very good at testing and finding ways to get ins and outs. Where Drake is, I think, the season vet. I'm gonna have to go for Capolo this time around.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the deck lists, for those who are wondering, they're all available on modernstreamersleague.com. But Capolo has Luris Burn, Humans, and a 4-color Luris Shadow, where Drake has Humans, Luris Jund, and Amulet Titan as his 3 available decks. So try and guess which decks they're going to play, chat, and we'll see in just a minute who ends up being right. We have a little bit of Astral Ren flickering happening to my side. The old Skype classic here. We'll see.
I can't escape. I can't escape. The Astral Realm life chose me. It wasn't the other way around.
It's fantastic, though, and glad to have you both aboard here tonight. Although it looks like Noble Murloc, we get to see his forehead. We'll fix that in just a moment. We'll show you guys the updated brackets and dive right into some modern action. Capolo versus Drake. Quick mention, Modern Streamers League is sponsored by Wizards of the Coast and Card Hoarder. We'll be back in just a moment. Check out these brackets.
All right, here we go. We're going to be watching this match. This is going to be Andrea versus Drake. And we're going to be watching it from Andrea's sides, it looks like. Let's see what he picked. Okay, yeah, this is what I was going to say. This is the quote-unquote safe choice. This is the Luris Jund Shadow, which is going to have like a medium matchup against anything that Drake could have brought to the table. So we see that Andrea is immediately looking at the list of the other side. And Drake did choose Humans. How do you feel about this matchup, Murloc?
I feel like Humans has the upper hand, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I did play a fair amount of Shadow myself, and Reflector Mage is a pain in the ass. You would expect the human deck to have a problem against the mono removal deck, but the problem is that the Shadow deck actually has to like play a little dance in order to set up their threats, and that's where the Humans deck can like out tempo it and get the most out of the exchange.
Right, draw and play is very important, I think, and the amount of hand disruption and stuff. But the only thing is what Luris, you only have so much removal.
Yeah. We see a very good hand from Drake, honestly. Turn 1 Vial. We did have the Champion of the Parish and a Mantis Rider. And curiously, Andrea takes the Medley Mage. How do you feel about that?
I mean, since there's no freebooter, I don't think I'd take that. I don't know. I think I'd take one of the beaters, to be honest.
So I imagine that Andrea's thought is that he wants to like take the tempo away from Drake, so he can take one turn off to deploy this Tarmogoyf. But like with now 3 different removal spells in hand, the Metal Mage definitely scares me a lot less than the Mantis Rider.
Exactly. I agree with that. And it's awesome that he has this trophy, so he can get rid of this vial very easily.
Yeah, I think that he's gonna kind of live dangerously a little bit, which I kind of agree with, in terms of like saving all of his removal for the creatures. And
Yep.
we're gonna see the Fatal Push coming down, probably on this champion. Although it is like knowing that the Mantis Rider is coming up right here, I would imagine that we're probably gonna be dismembering the Mantis Rider instead.
So I was thinking, why wouldn't it be a little better to shock in there, and then you have both your removal spells open there?
Yeah, I mean, shocking there was an option. Alternatively, he could have used that turn to deploy the Tarmogoyf. Like knowing his hand, that means that the Tarmogoyf is not going to be the champion is not going to be able to attack through the Goyf. So we basically have a quote unquote free block there while we are actually deploying our threats a little bit. He chooses to like save a little bit of life and kind of like use this member on the Mantis Rider instead, which it's not terrible, but
Right. And now we have another dismember. So we are at removal RS right now. So I'm feeling really good about Capolo.
Yeah, definitely looking pretty good here. He's gonna take this turn to deploy both of his threats, and now he is super ahead on board. The only problem is that some of Drake's cards are actually pretty backbreaking for Capolo here, namely Reflector Mage. So if Drake manages to find the Reflector Mage at some point in this game, that card can really turn the tables on Capolo, because it really puts a bunch of pressure while at the same time the tempo hit that Reflector Mage represents really can mess up with.
I would usually agree with you if we weren't shopping at Removal or Us over here.
Yeah.
Because we saw Drake's hand earlier. There was not a lot of creatures. And so if Drake's only going to be playing a creature a turn or violating a creature a turn, I think we're fine over here on Capolo's side. It's like, sunshine. Now, that'll change the game a bit.
Yeah, that can potentially be a problem because it's going to slow down Andrea considerably. Wow, we're going for the dismember. Ooh, we're playing a dangerous game here.
Yep, this girl gotta go.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I love killing the Thalia there. I guess that we're just using both removal spells. I was thinking that maybe he wanted to Inquisition, but he's actually turning the corner. He says, okay, I want to make sure that this game is done as quickly as possible. And
like I said, the opening hand, I think, told us the whole story, right? That we got to see both players' hand, and the fact that Capolo knew, right, he kept a strong hand with removal, and Drake, I don't know. I think Drake's hand was a fine. It was more of like a 5 out of 10, not a 9 out of 10, which I think you need to be against the removal all deck.
Yeah, definitely the Vial didn't do much, honestly. And post-sideboard, things get a lot better for Drake than they do for Capolo. So we're going to see like a couple of more removal spells coming in, and that's kind of about it. While Drake, on the other hand, has access to Aria Champion, which is huge in the matchup, not only allowing him to make sure that his life total remains nice and cushioned, but also because Death Shadows can't attack through it. So, not great. So hopefully,
because at that point you're just depending on Mr. Goyf to come to town, and you have basically 7 copies with the Traverse.
Yeah, I mean, he's still drawing towards exactly Tarfire and Seal of Fire. Those are both of his options to get rid of the Auric Champion. But there's 4 Auric Champions versus 2 of those cards.
Unfortunately,
that's
Auric Champion protects him black and red.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so there's like Goyf or that's it.
Goyf.
Yeah.
When in doubt, Goyf him out.
I get confused with Mirror Crusader. That's the one that's pro black and pro green.
That one's scary.
Yeah. This doesn't get better for Andrea at all, to the point where he's considering adding Veil of Summer because of Kitesail Freebooter, I guess, or just to catch
Freebooter. Well, think about it. Reflector Mage. You brought up the Reflector Mage thing, and
Mhm.
that's a really good stop of Reflector Mage. And so I don't think it's bad. I think it's actually a good way to step over your opponent, but you have to be really careful with your mana since Capella is not going to have a bunch of mana, and Thalia could be a problem. So there are a lot of things to definitely worry about.
Yeah, for sure. Things do look a lot better for Drake in post-Cyber League games. Yeah, he's really
Also,
tanking about those fail of summers. But yeah, the stuff with the
I
Nightmare
really
Star.
like. I like Collector Oof here too, though, because it's a blocker and it turns off bio. I don't think it's the worst card.
Yeah, and it can attack through from our champion.
Yep.
That's how
Exactly.
that's how hard we're digging for a way to do something
And
about the
it's a
Irish.
matchup where you're taking out so many cards and you have to have find cards to put in, right? So that's kind
Yeah.
of the issue as well. Ooh.
Yeah, and he does have a lot of cards that he kind of doesn't want to have, like the Thought Seizes, the Star Wars. He was lucky enough to just like be able to get rid of those, but Turn 1 Noble Hierarch is a great start for Drake. Probably even a little bit better than Turn 1 Aether Vial in a matchup like this, because it actually grows and it represents a clock down the line. I wonder what he does here. Okay, he's choosing to go for the Seal of Fire over the Turn 1 Thoughtseize.
I like this a lot because this sets up for our traverse really fast. It gets the tempo play. I think it's by far the best play over the Thoughtseize.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Especially because like if your opponent has 2 Mantis Riders, you are super screwed. Like you're not coming back from that. You're getting attacked for 4, and like you get rid of one of them, and then the other one just speeds you down. Apparently, Drake's hand is pretty good though. That freebooter is just on the money. Depending on so we're getting rid of the thoughts. As I was going to say, it depends a lot on what Drake's hand is. Well, that's a good drop.
I mean,
all right,
you got him. You got him.
You gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. I wonder if he discards to drain. I would imagine no. We just shock and we just get rid of the freebooter and we just move on to the next turn.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, just one mode. I don't think that this early in the game you wanna drain, especially when you don't know how the rest of the turns are going to be working
like
out
I said, we're already very close for this traverse to be able to go get a shadow. So
yeah. So we have sorcery, enchantment, and land. Yeah, there's the Mantis Rider, and we have no answer for that. That's gonna be a problem. It's really funny how like this card just beats down so hard.
Someone get on the phone. I think Kabbalah needs help. Send help.
Yeah, we're cycling. Oof. Well, that's how you do it.
Well, when in doubt, push it out, man. We're getting there. Like I said, Capolo, he has this thing about it, man. When he's pushed to the corner, he jumps out and goes kicking.
Yep, it's not messing around. Not messing around. But he knew his out, right? Like he knew what he needed to draw. He's like, well, this guy's gonna beat me down, so I just need to find a push here, and he did play to his outs.
Oh no, it's that champion, bro.
There's the champion. Oof, yeah. We kind of have to get rid of the phantasmal image here, right?
Yes. All of this is bad.
Wow. I don't think I like that.
I don't agree with that play either. I think you have to get the Goyf here, right?
Because now, like, we're never getting through 2 Aura champions. And we have literally no way of answering them. Because like the way protection works is like you just cannot target the creature. So even though it's going to be a phantasmal image, Andrea's not going to be able to. It's just not going to be able to target the Arrow champion. So he's going to have to raise 2 pro-black creatures that gain life whenever any creature comes into play. Seems.
And the fact that they're going to be 2/2s here.
And they're going to be 2/2s. Yeah. So. Yikes! So he
I'm really confused that he didn't get the Goyf there. I think you have to get the Goyf there because the Goyf's going to be big enough. It's going to slow down the pressure a little bit, give you time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that even though Shadow is your best threat, considering the current situation, and it's not like you can top deck TBR, right? You cannot top deck Timur Battle Rage and expect to get you there because like Drake is at 21.
Yeah.
So
And it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, so seems pretty rough.
I think we're going to be seeing a game 3 here very soon.
Yeah, I imagine. How do we win this game? So we need to top deck exactly Timur Battle Rage.
Yep.
And we have to not die. So I guess that we play a second Shadow. We play the Breeding Pool tapped, I guess. Well, I guess that we can play the Burning Catacombs and we can fetch down to 1 after we take 4 from this Area Champions. So we go down to 1, we play a tapped land, and then we hope that the TBR is enough. Do we even play the second Shadow is the question, because that's going to gain 2 life.
I think Drake can tell that he's on nothing, right? Because if Kabbalah had something, he would have did something last turn, not just play the Shadow. So therefore, I think Drake also gets to untap, and he can crack one of these canopies if need to find a little more pressure. If he finds a Reflector Mage, we're dead city.
Yeah, is he gonna play the Lures? I don't think I like this, because playing the Lures actually puts Drake out of TBR range. So now even if we do top deck the TBR,
yeah, it's not good enough.
Okay, so we're just redrawing, I guess. So we're just accepting that we're dead to a Reflector Mage or something like that. Deputy
right. Well, we're not dead to Reflector Mage. Now we have.
Yeah, we have a second Shadow, I guess. All right.
We have second Shadow and we have Lord, so we have 2 separate names. I would like to see a Goyf here or something. We just need some way to. I just don't know if it's gonna be enough.
Yeah, TBR just doesn't do it because Drake is at 25. Even a 12/12 Shadow that deals 24. So
right.
So I guess that Drake needs to be a little bit reckless and attack with both Area of Champions, and then yeah, it seems pretty rough to get out of this. And it's funny because if Drake doesn't do anything and he just leaves the Area of Champions to block, the way that protection works is even if you double strike and trample, that means that let's say that the shadows are 8/8. So our champion blocks the shadow, and then first strike damage goes through, and 2 damage need to be assigned to the area champion. So 6 are gonna come through, and then when we go to regular damage, the same thing needs to happen, right? Because you need to assign lethal damage to the blocker, and the protection prevents that damage. So the area champion is gonna have no damage on it. So you need to deal 2 again. So they effectively are saving Drake 4 life here just by being there.
Yep.
So
yeah, Auriok Champion is just really scary, and I think we can go back to that moment where Capola thought seized, and I think that was the big turnaround for the game. If he would have took something instead of worrying about the deputy there, and not the image.
I mean, I understand why he was worried about the deputy, of course, because he didn't have an answer to it, and then the deputy just takes care of our threats, right? But we actually have no answers in our deck to the Auriok Champion, so by doing that, we're actually, we left ourselves with no outs.
Right, deputy, we can find a way to kill.
Exactly.
But Auriok Champion says, "Hello, I'm here. I'm staying for a little while."
Yeah, and we see Drake is just yep. I mean, even TBR doesn't get you out of this one, my friend. So I'm just getting in there. Honestly, Drake could have even just attacked with one of them, and then percent lethal for the following turn.
Well, I think with being at 26 life, he's not really worried about that.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's got 2 blockers now, I think he can do this and feel safe.
Yeah, I mean, but he's got no info about Andreas Hand. So if Andreas Hand is push, swamp, trophy plus battle rage, we might actually have, he might actually die.
Well, at that point, I could also win the $1 million lottery. It's one of those things.
Yeah, for sure.
I
If
I
he
understand what you're saying. The
leaves,
optimal play is probably just leave one back because lethal is not going to change regardless.
yeah, that's my point, right? Like you're setting up lethal, and Andrea doesn't have any ways to stop it on the following turn. And maybe he's just trying to play around the Goif off the top, which I guess would make sense. I guess you just have to figure out what you want to play around, and maybe just playing around the Goif is a little bit better than playing around the absolute best case scenario.
Right.
Right. No changes for Andrea, and judging by how quickly this game is happening, I imagine that no changes from Drake either.
Yeah, after watching that game, I still like bringing in a collector move right there because having more blockers seems really important. I know it can turn off our bobble, but it might be worth it to be honest.
Interesting. I just realized that if we're playing Aria Champion, we actually cannot play Giganta, which is hilarious. I totally missed that on the last game. That's funny. Not that it really matters. The 5/5 not doing much in this matchup anyway.
Right.
Yeah, so we do see Andrea doing the super cool trick that the kids are doing nowadays, which is to just like bubble yourself and then use the fetch land to scry if you don't like the top card of your deck. Pretty cool.
Is that the new trick of the week? I thought that was a new trick like 4 years ago, man. I'm getting old.
It was a new trick a bunch of years ago, but it's now all the cool kids are playing Mishra's Bobble, so
You're right. Mr. Ball is here. Mr. Ball is there. Even the burn deck found it. Man, it's everywhere.
Everybody needs to bobble. I was bobbling.
Everybody bobble tonight. Oh, bro, it's okay. Everybody bobble tonight. It's the new dance. We'll enjoy it while we can.
Exactly. All right. So turn 1 Vial for Drake. Turn 2 Goy for Andrea. Nothing too crazy. Andrea making sure that he has his mana cooperating with him. Hopefully we get to K command this Vial, and if we get to kill something else with this K command, then we get the nice little 2-for-1. That's gonna be
that K command is scary, and this hand's looking mortifying.
Yep. So let's see what Drake has here to work this hand out. Because if this is a freebooter, we might be in a nice spot. Let's see what Drake has. We're gonna see a Lieutenant plus 1-drop with the trigger on the stack. No, just Lieutenant, no 1-drop. So we're gonna get straight up 2-for-1 here with this K command. Oh yeah, Capolo just cannot. Capolo cannot click quickly enough.
I think Capolo is in burning mode, baby. Let's go.
Yep, let's do it. All right. Boom. 2-for-1 you. Thank you very much.
Baby. Let's go.
Grow my Gof into a 4/5. Getcha. Nice. Those are some nice moves. All right, Drake, 2 lands, nothing else. Now what? Reflector Mage is pretty big game here. All right. All right. That's a nice little.
I see it.
That's a nice little time walk we got going on there. Well, Snapcaster not being able to get anything back feels bad, man.
I wouldn't say that. We have time, man. It's not like we're worried about much. There's no Vial. I mean, we got some time. We definitely want to put a clock, but I think we're okay.
Yeah. That double shadow makes a lot of sense here. I don't think we should be playing around something like Deputy. If they have Deputy, we just hope that we find the threat at some point. That we find the removal spell at some point.
If they Deputy that, you're fine, right? Because I think Goif is very important just in case we get into that board stall like we saw last game with the champions.
Exactly. Yeah, Goif is pretty important as the only thing that matters against the Aura champion. Okay, let's see what Drake has to add to the table here. So far, I would say that we are pretty even overall, at least on the board.
Right. I think the board is fine. I'm not sure if Drake is just like is in that place where you just draw a bunch of lands, because that's the big thing with humans, right? Even though you don't play a lot of lands, the biggest downfall is you will draw a lot of lands sometimes, and it just feels bad.
Yeah, for sure. Fortunately, a lot of those lands are like Horizon Canopy style lands. We see the Waterlogged Grove in play right there, so that's virtually an extra draw step, but at the expense of a land drop and a mana, which we're probably not in a situation where we can go around spewing those resources right now. I would imagine that Drake has at least like a Mantis Rider and a Meddling Mage or something like that in hand, and he's trying to figure out how the next couple of turns are going to play out so he can sequence his spells in the best possible way. He might be trying to figure out if there's like a spot where he can double spell, how to sequence his threats to get the most value. So we do see a little bit of a tank here from Mr. Sasser. All right, we see
like I've said before, Drake is very, very smart when it comes to these things. He thinks everything through. If you watch the man play in paper, he is just stone cold and knows what he's doing. Is thinking 3 turns ahead.
Yep, those ninja skills. We see the Meddling Mage coming down. Andrea pointed out that Tarmogoyf. Lurus of the Dream Den is what was named. Which kind of makes sense. I'm
not sure if I agree with this.
The thing is that the Lurus actually represents a ton of card draw, and the Lurus is going to eventually draw Andrea into the removal spells that he needs.
That's
true. Little bit of an acting move right there from Mr. Capolo. Clearly a great Meddling Mage. All right, man. The Veil of Summer that we were talking about earlier. There you go.
Oh, man.
Right on time for that Reflective Mage.
Yeah, like I said, that it's an amazing card. I don't know how it's still legal in the format, but it's fantastic. It's one of my favorite cards to play.
Yeah, Veil is great. No cycling the land over there for Drake. That screams to me that he definitely has gas in the tank still to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe he's trying to. Yeah, there he is.
It's Rider o'clock, friends. Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier. Drake was trying to pace himself and try to figure out what the best sequence was so that he can do exactly this. So now he's presenting a 2-turn clock and he's saying, Andrea, you have to kill me this turn or find a removal spell for this Mantis Rider or you're dead. So,
and I think that's the scary thing, right? Because we have this Team of Battle Rage, and Drake is kind of low in life, and if we're going low here on Capolo's side, that's scary. Yeah,
this is going to be an interesting turn here. Drake at 13. We have, all-out attack from Andrea.
Yep.
What are we going to see here?
I think you have to do it, right? Like, there's no other way.
Yep. Yeah. I was thinking about maybe wanted to slow down a little bit and start the turn by using Brutality on the Phantasmal Image. This allows us to actually have lethal or force, I guess, a triple jump.
Right. I think the thing is, too, is he's trying to figure out if he's going to surprise him with the Collective Brutality and try to get him down to like just lethal with that and then finish him off. I think there's a lot of spots here that he's trying to put Drake in the path to make the decision.
Yeah, but is it actually lethal? Does Drake have any blocks? Like, if we kill the Phantasmal Image, does Drake have any blocks at all? Okay, this is just lethal now. These blocks are just lethal.
Yep. All right. This is what I was getting at. Because, math is for blockers, my guy. You just bring it on.
My bad, man. I'm sorry. I was out here trying to do math while attacking.
I think you've turned one Titan sideways too many, Capolo. You need to calm down.
All right, and Andrea beats Drake. Revenge, baby, revenge. Andrea making it to the finals, apparently. Hell yeah.
You're going hard.
So
all right.
I'm excited because there's one less undefeated player. Now I just need Capolo to lose one, and then there'll be no more undefeated players in my reign shall be supreme.
Nice.
So
It's all about that personal EV, you know.
I
Good
have
job.
to. I hadn't talked with Mr. Murloc in a little bit, and the first thing he says to me, he says, "Huh, I thought you were good. Why do you have 2 losses?"
This is true. You can't go undefeated, then go to another tournament and do
Nice.
poorly.
4-2.
That's not fair.
4-2 is poorly.
Got him.
Got him.
I
Yep.
mean, hey, look, you gotta remember, everybody gets lucky.
It's
Got
true.
him.
It's true. I definitely did get lucky. But we'll see if Amulet Titan
Oh yeah. Amulet all the way, man.
little represent. I'll be a little nervous with Francisco watching me play. Like every mistake I
yeah.
make, he's just gonna be like, "Oh, Mike's an idiot. Oh, Mike's an idiot."
I'm gonna judge you hard, dude. I'm not gonna go easy.
I
at
need to go
all.
get some popcorn for this. I'm hyped.
yeah.
Let's go.
Why did I
Yeah,
invite
get
Francisco
ready.
on tonight when I'm playing against Spider Space, who I've never beaten? So
Nice.
Cabolo's got the easy track to the finals now. He just has to win, I think, 2 more matches? I'll look at the bracket in a second. I think 2 more matches, and he's the champion of the entire tournament. So definitely on the
that's pretty
fast
sick.
track to winning it all right now. Mr. Cabolo, who started last tournament 0-3. Little
Classic.
revenge tour.
Classic. Maybe he's been practicing all this time. You know, he's been like 20 hours a day just playing Magic Online, just playing Modern at home, just like trying to figure out the format. Got there.
He got
just
there.
Net decked 3 decks, easy cruising through the tournament.
That's got to be it. He's got to, we got a montage of Andrea running on the beach with magic cards, like trying to figure out what's, he's like boxing him like Rocky. We'll get it with the Eye of the Tiger. We'll have that for you. I'm sure someone can make that. It just won't be me because that would be terrible. You guys have seen my paint images. Check my Twitter for those. They are marvelously terrible. But the next match we have for you guys is Ghost X Empire against Aspiring Spike, who's had a heck of a year so far. Just absolutely crushing it in leagues and everything else here. So this one should be a fun one. This is actually in the losers bracket. So the loser of that match isn't eliminated, but the loser will be playing round 4, playing again tonight in the elimination bracket. So the person who does lose that could be done for the entire tournament if they lose just 2 more. The winner of that will be moving up and having a little bit more time on the easy track of the X1.
The easy track.
Listen to this man with the easy track, Mr. 4-2. Calm down.
Nice. Keep it coming.
I feel like I have Kevin and Andrea on right now, just with the St. Doom roast. So it's fantastic. You know what? And I can't even be like my beard's better than yours because it's not. So,
Bask in the glory, sir.
Yeah.
So we'll be back in just a moment with the next match: Ghost X Empire against Aspiring Spike. It should be a good one.
All right, Ghost Empire. Hell yeah, he's been crushing it with the Niv deck previously today, previously in the league. So we're gonna see what weapon is picking. Oh yeah, this deck is sweet, man. I played a little bit of this deck on stream, and it is fun, man. It is really fun. So
It
we
looks
have
fantastic.
yeah, it is hilarious. So we have Spike on. Do we have a companion? I missed that.
I didn't get to see it either.
Yeah, so I guess we'll have to wait. Look at this mana though. Look at this perfect mana with the
It's
lightning
perfect,
helix.
man.
Oh, what? We mold that hand?
What just
Wow.
happened? I'm new. I don't know what to do. Someone explain.
Wow, he just molded that hand. I guess that he thought it was too slow, so he just shifted. I'm very surprised. Like we had a Neuro, we had a Teferi, we had our mana was like medium. Like the only thing that we couldn't cast was a Helix. But
Lightning Helix. We were
I
just
mean,
one land away from it too.
yeah. But I mean, we are. This is what we're looking at. This is a Hideous 6, so we're gonna be going down to 5 shortly over here.
I
There we
hope
go.
we're okay. This 5's fine.
Yeah, this is it. This is a fine 5. I like this. So we bottom in the Solar
got-
Blaze in a land. Do we? How dangerous do we like to live? I guess we like to live dangerously. Okay.
I don't mind this, yeah, because we get 2 redraws here.
All right, easy. Clearly bottom in the land was the correct play.
Just like that.
Easy.
This is why he's down there and we're up here, right?
Exactly. All right. So what are we? Oh yeah. So this is Spike is on Lurus Delver. Lurus Delver.
Oh baby.
Yep. All right. So this is actually not a bad draw at all. The information is gonna be extremely valuable, especially because Teferi is probably great in the matchup. So I could see this Thoughtseize having a great impact. I would expect him to get a basic here and just use Astrolabe to. Yeah, this is silly.
Astrolabe is such a dumb card.
It really is. All right, so the Thoughtseize is good to go.
That's a nice hand.
Huh. So we have Delver, we have Sprite Dragon, Snapcaster Mage. That's a lot of pressure. He does take the force because he knows how important it is to resolve this fairy, but this Teferi is not gonna be doing too much really.
Yeah, this Teferi is gonna get hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
He's gonna have one chance to do one thing with it, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Of course, Delver doesn't flip because this is the modern format. Where Delver doesn't ever flip.
Wait, Delver's flip?
Yeah, apparently there's this format called Legacy where Delvers just always flip. It's crazy. Crazy. It's like a completely different world.
Good old fever dream.
Yeah, insane. All right, so we're just slamming this Teferi. I guess that we could draw maybe something like an Udo, in which case maybe that's a little bit more exciting. But that Solar Blaze would be
looking like sweet.
Here. Yeah. So
we're a little ways away from it.
We can get guaranteed value, which I think is what's going to happen here. Or we can just try to YOLO a little bit. Wow.
I think we put the Sprite back in the hand, right? Oh, wow.
Are we going to see a plus? Like, he's really tanking about this. Because, like, if this Delver flips, like, we got no value from the Teferi. He just died. Yeah, that's what he's trying to figure out. It's like, is there any way that we can give +1/+1 to the Sprite and then we flip the Delver and we kill the Teferi? That's what he's trying to figure out. Yeah, he chooses to go for the guaranteed value. I think that's the correct line for sure. Like it just
a great pickup.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking very good on this in this current situation right here. All right.
Right. So I think we're looking at we're going to stay at 15 more than likely. Our Teferi is going to hit the bin. I think we're in a fine spot. I don't think we're in a great spot, but I think we're in a manageable spot, I guess would be the best term.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem that I have with this situation is that, the multi-5 is really going to hit us. We see how many threats Spike is able to deploy here. All right, that was good.
I like that one.
That one's pretty good. So we can kill We can kill the Sprite Dragon. Then Delvers kill our Ren. We don't have perfect info, so this might backfire. So I guess that's why we see Ghost Empire actually going after the Delver instead of the Sprite Dragon. I wonder if that's just like a YOLO situation where you just have to do it. That was tight. Did you see that right there? The Scry with the Delver? Yeah, I love to see it. So we resolve the Delver trigger. We see what's on top of the deck, and then we use a fetch land to reset the top if we don't like what it is. Classic move. Okay.
Oh, we can.
Yeah,
so what are we gonna bring to light? But we have to be careful of counter magic, right?
Exactly.
It's probably just safe to play the arrow.
Exactly. So we have a known Archmage's Charm over there, and we see that Ghost Empire actually set himself up to draw Thoughtseize, which would actually be a pretty solid pickup here. We find the Nev. Huh. Is that good? I guess that it goes to the bin, and then you can get back your Uro.
That's true. But you got... Oh, okay. Right. So he might have drawn the second Mage Charm. I'm not sure. I don't know what the deck list is if he's playing 1 or 2 copies.
Yeah, so he has a Snapcaster Mage still. So I imagine that he's trying to draw 2 because he thinks he might draw into a land. There's the land. It's just a little bit too late, but yeah. So I would imagine that we're going to see another form of counter magic here. Sorry.
Yeah, this is getting scary for Ghost.
Yeah, it's not looking good for him at all. So we're gonna have this Bring to Light here. I would imagine that Spike is gonna let this resolve, and then we're gonna counter whatever they get. No, we're just gonna Mana Leak the Bring to Light.
Counter whatever comes at bat out. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why we didn't counter the other.
But to be fair, is it right to be there?
All right. Okay, so we fetch. I think we lost Murloc. Is that true? Or he's very still. Otherwise, all right. There you go. Welcome back. All right, that was a lot of pressure. That was a lot of pressure. That Sprite Dragon did so much work. It's crazy. Looked very impressive. All right, so we are adding some sweepers. We're adding some veils. Adding the 3rd copy of Teferi. Cutting the Amor Ego, I love this. I think Amor Ego is just not a great card, really. I mean, you play it as a one-off because when it's good, it's just really good, like against Primeval Titan decks or Tron or whatever. But yeah, sideboarding looks pretty straightforward. Just add the good affected cards, and then cut the clunkers, or like the ones that are a little bit clunkier. We see an Uro being cut. We see 1 Ren and 6 being cut, which is interesting. I usually really like Ren and 6 on the play. I can see cutting 1 copy on the draw, but maybe on the play. Yeah, it's just like if your opponent goes turn 1 Delver and you just Ren and 6 minus, you're just so far ahead.
Right. It's a very interesting, like, playing against the Delver deck's always interesting because it's such a insane tempo deck. When it's good, but if they get tilted off tempo, the game is just spirals.
Yeah, for sure. We did see no Delvers flipping, which is,
like I said, it doesn't. Well, 1 did flip. That's incorrect. We did see a flip.
Did we?
Yeah. I know it's hard to remember 5 minutes ago. We're getting up there in age, Francisco.
That's silly. What a joke. There was flipping. Not in my modern, okay? Not in my modern format.
Oh, man. We got Sheriff Francisco here, folks. Making sure everything stays fair.
All right. Guess I've been really going over both lists, trying to figure out what what the best cut is. Kaya's Guile seems to be in an interesting spot. You definitely want to have access to the Exile Graveyards effect, otherwise Luros takes over and it can be problematic. Also, of course, great against Snapcaster Mage, but Snapcaster Mage actually a great example of why the Sacrifice effect might not be great. Right. So Guile is definitely like a card that we want a couple of copies, but maybe we don't want too many. I'm surprised to see that we actually want all 3 copies of the Fairy. It seems a little bit clunky in the matchup, especially because it's pretty, like, Sprite Dragon is just so good against the Fairy. It being just a 1/1 haste.
If we can get it to Fairy and we can get ticked up at least once though, and we get to the point where we can stop his Snapcasters and Charms, I think things become pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Like when your opponent just cannot really do anything in order to like counter your spells and stuff, you're just blanking half of their deck basically, right? Right. But the problem seems to be
it's a must kill card as well.
Yeah, maybe it's just like maybe it's just a must kill, and it's just good enough that it's worth having the full 3 copies of. I wonder what's going on here, because like we are sideboarded. I don't understand what's going on, but here we are. Here we are awaiting. It's okay. How was your day today, Murloc?
It was fantastic, sir. It was fantastic. I cannot complain. And yours?
Oh, so far so good. Doing the streaming thing, and having a great time doing so. I actually went out of the house today for the first time in a while, which was great.
That's good.
Yeah, it was interesting. Actually, people in LA are starting to like drive a little bit more normally than like a couple of weeks ago. And you know what that means, right? Like everybody knows how crazy LA drivers are, so that's not a good thing.
I live in the South. Nothing has changed. It seems like the rest of the world has stopped for a while. We have not. You see everybody else just doing their thing, so living their best life.
Fair enough. All right, here we go. Giganta showing up. Eesh. Wow, I didn't even get to see that hand, and we were just mulling it down to 5.
Yeah, it went so fast.
Brutal. This hand is pretty solid though. So we have a sweeper, we have a Helis, which we're probably gonna be keeping. So imagine this we're going down to 5. So I imagine we're bottoming the trophy and the Solar Blaze.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. So we're probably gonna see like a Snow-Covered Forest and an Astrolabe here on turn 1. And Spike actually did mulligan as well. He went down to 6. So we have a mull to 6, aka 7, versus a mull to 5, aka 6.
Thoughtseize is looking really nice.
Yep, Thoughtseize is always good against mulligans. The problem is when you're on a mulligan and you have a Thoughtseize, it's not as good.
That's true. I can agree with this.
Also, Thoughtseize is not particularly great against companions, which is my main problem with the card right now.
Yeah, I'm always scared in a format when Thoughtseize isn't good enough, because that's when you know you have a bad format.
That's an interesting assessment, actually. So I think right now we're in a situation where counter magic is a lot better than discard spells. So you think that it's better when discard spells are better than counter magic?
Because you get to the point where combo decks start running rampant, and when you have combo decks running rampant, counter spells become a little less effective sometimes, in my opinion.
Interesting.
Especially when you have cards like Veil of Summer.
Yeah, Veil of Summer is kind of brutal. Yeah, so we're gonna see the thing where we kill the Delver on site. Good stuff. One very minor thing that happened there, you will see that there's a Mishra's bubble, and there's the Delver, right? There's actually a pretty interesting interaction with Delver and Mishra's Bubble. You can actually crack the Mishra's Bubble in your opponent's end step, so you can target yourself and see which card you have on top. And then on your upkeep, you can stack the triggers with the bubble on the Delver. If you saw that the card on top is actually a card that will flip the Delver, you resolve the Delver trigger first. So you reveal that card and you flip your Delver, and then you draw your card from the bubble. If you reveal a card that does not flip your Delver, you do the opposite. So you are helping your chances of flipping the Delver thanks to Mishra's Bubble, which is a pretty cool interaction in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it definitely gives you some different complex things you can do with the bobble.
Mm-hmm. That Ren was excellent right there. So we get to look at the hand, we get to get rid of the Force of Negation, which is the only thing that counters our Ren. And now we know that this Ren is good to go, and we're going to start riding it to victory, hopefully.
Ren is such an awesome design card, too. I love this card.
Yeah,
even though I've never cast it, it's cool.
Ren is busted, my friend. Ren is absolutely busted. Yeah, we're going to see Opt hoping to draw a Spell Snare or another Force, I would imagine. I think Ren is good enough to warrant the 2-for-1 here. So it's going to be a painful 2-for-1, but then we can actually use Lurrus to regain the lost card advantage. But we have to get rid of this Ren. This is going to destroy us, and it's going to undo Ghost Empire's mulligan very, very easily. All right, do we have it, Spike? Don't slow roll us. Don't slow roll us. I would imagine that he has it, and he's trying to figure out what he's pitching to a Force. That's what I would think, at least. Otherwise,
I agree.
Otherwise, this is just mean. Yeah. Oh wow, it resolved. Okay, cool. All right. So I really like Ghost Empire's situation right here. I think that we're looking really, really good.
Right. I agree.
Active Ren. We have Kaya's Guile to get rid of the Lurrus and get rid of the potential graveyard. So we're minimizing the value of the cat greatly. Also, by exiling it, we make sure that cards like Kolaghan's Command or Unearth are pretty much rendered useless. So big fan of Ghost Empire's situation right here.
Oh yeah. Guile's one of those charms that I wasn't sure when it originally got spoiled if it would find a home, and now it has, it seems.
Yeah, for sure. I've been very, very impressed by Kaya's Guile in this deck specifically. I have seen it on other control shells, but it is particularly good in the Nib deck specifically. All the modes are extremely relevant, and in the current metagame where exiling graveyards is such a big deal, thanks because of Lurrus specifically, Kaya's Guile has been super, super impressive. I would imagine that we're going to see a main phase Guile here. Yeah, there's just like we get got by Force, but we know for a fact that there's a charm on our opponent's graveyard, on our opponent's hand, so we definitely want to make sure that we resolve this. We just get it while the getting's good. Huh. So he's making his opponent's sack, and he's making a 1/1. Interesting. So I guess that's the game plan. We just want to put on a clock there. I think I would have gone for Exiling Graveyards. Like now, K Command is a pretty problematic card potentially, but all right, it is what it is. So I would imagine we're just going to keep on plussing this Ren, and hopefully if we get there, the Ren Ultimate is going to close the deal. Unfortunately, we're looking at some technical difficulties, so it's going to be a second before Murloc comes back here to hang out with us, or, you know, where my face is supposed to be. But probably things looking fine for Ghost Empire here. There we go. I am back, kind of. Hello. All right. Passing over the turn. I imagine we're just simply going to see like a fetch for a tapped shock land on the end step. It's just mostly going to be a matter of what Spike's going to do. And we have 2 lands to Spike's 5 cards. So that is a little bit scary. I'm not going to say no. Definitely a little bit scary. But Yeah, especially when we know for a fact that one of those cards is a hard counterspell slash divination, so pretty tough. Right, we see Ghost Empire. It's probably going over Spike's list at this point, try to figure out what he could get got by. So that's why we saw that stop right there. All right, what are we gonna see here? Sprite Dragon would be a big deal on this board. Serum Visions, not so much. Serum Visions, not so much. So basically, we're just hoping to dodge Colligan's Command in every way, shape, or form, because that card would be pretty brutal here. I guess that Spike could also steal the 1/1, thanks to Archmage's Charm. Okay, we're getting the Triumph there. Oof, another land is kind of brutal, honestly. Honestly, it's interesting that he chose to go for the Triumph, because honestly, the Triumph going with the Ren would, like, if he actually had naturally top deck that Triumph, I know it's 3 mana, which is definitely pretty slow, but like being able to draw an extra card every single turn, especially when you have no available plays to you at all, it can potentially be pretty good. I expect that we're going to see the Companion here. I mean, it's probably better to just play the Companion right now than it is to have a Spike draw 2. Like, if Spike goes up to 8 cards in hand, to 7 cards in hand, sorry, things might get ugly pretty quickly there. So, very interesting game, though. We're seeing definitely a match where every tiny decision ends up being very relevant, and navigating this like card advantage, analysis, and like try to figure out which card matters, which card doesn't, what to try to like what matters and what doesn't. Basically, it's the basis of what we're looking at here. And we did see Spike with the draw 2 over there, which makes a lot of sense. Hey, Sanjay, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? I'm replacing Noble for a moment as his, I guess his entire internet just crashed. So
That's
not
cool.
a Skype issue, a real-life internet issue, which we cannot overcome with the wave of the wand. The draw 2 of Archmage's Charm is my favorite mode. It's just so good.
It's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. Like the fact that it's a card that it's a counterspell, and when your opponent didn't play into it, you still get to spend your mana, and you still get card advantage out of it. It's pretty huge. I'm a big fan of that card, and the power level is just spot on. Like that's a card that you see that is good, but nowhere close to broken. Like it's just perfect. It's just a great card. Yeah, this is what I saw. This is what I said earlier when. Like, this 1/1 is doing absolutely nothing, and now this Lurrus is going to take over the game very, very quickly. And not exiling the graveyard, those like 2 turns ago, going to really cost Ghost Empire here. We could have been done with this Lurrus, and now it's back, and it's angrier than ever.
Lurrus coming back that feels almost as powerful as like a Bloodbraid effect right there. Just guaranteed 2 for 1, just popping up. It's going to keep giving you value.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, it's a lot better than Bloodbraid because if they don't kill it immediately, it is a lot. It's every single turn. So, I mean, that's why you see John playing Lurrus instead of Bloodbraid. They're giving up 4 Bloodbraids for 1 Lurrus, and it's a great deal.
That is a great deal. The only thing I miss in Jund decks is the Liliana of the Veil. That's it.
Yeah, but, like, I think Lurrus is definitely better enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better enough that it's worth not playing Liliana, for sure. I'm pretty confident on that. About that.
Is Marcus going to draw more lands here? Okay.
All right, I mean, that is the card. It doesn't do much for us here, unfortunately. Wisely playing around Spell Pierce, though. I mean, definitely important to make sure that we're playing tight here. Mana Leak is going to be just as brutal, though. Dispute, same thing. It doesn't matter. This is just horrible.
That card is so good right now against this Niv Mizzet deck because most of the spells that matter in this matchup are blue. Niv Mizzet is blue. Bring to Light is blue. Teferi is blue. Just
yeah, Dispute definitely great against the Niv to Light deck. Oh, that's huge. That's huge. Like being able to pressure the Ren with 2 different creatures. Oh yeah, did we also talk about the fact that Lura just pumps your sprite every single turn for no mana? I don't think we covered that.
We didn't.
Does Bloodbraid do that? Just pump your creatures every single turn for no mana while drawing you a card?
Does Bloodbraid have lifelink?
Yeah. Man, losing proposition.
Remember when people thought Bloodbraid would break Modern? It's not even played. Not even played.
Remember that? People were saying Jace was too good. Stoneforge was too good. LOL.
Was Stoneforge ever really too good, to be honest here?
Stoneforge is just sweet. Stoneforge is just a great card.
Kolaghan's Command really stops Stoneforge from being amazing, though.
Yeah, especially with how good King Command is right now and how good the decks that run King Command are.
What do you do here? 5 cards in Spike's hand. Do you cast the Bring to Light as a bait? I mean, that's a terrible bait. A Force of Negation exiles it, so you can't even like Ren ult to bring it back or anything eventually.
I don't know what Ghost Empire's plan is here. Like, he's not going to get to double spell. That's just not what this deck really does. So, like, I would have liked to at least play the Giganta. You just don't have time to play around Mana League. You just have to get the cards out of your opponent's hand. But like, these dudes are gonna kill you very quickly. Like, your Ren is gone. It just doesn't matter anymore. And like, now your opponent still has. They still have. If they had the counterspell last turn, they still have it. If they didn't have it, they're gonna draw it thanks to this bubble.
2 cards.
So, yeah, it's just too much. It's just too much. All right. I mean, I guess I stand corrected, and we do get to double spell. Does it even matter, really, though?
I don't think it does here.
At this point, I think we're just too far behind. I don't think we're going to be able to catch back up. Spells. Nice. Yeah, I mean, we just YOLO here.
You have to cast something here. I think I'd try to cast Giganta here. I think you're right.
Yeah, I think I would have cast Giganta the previous turn, and I would try to be casting Bring to Light here, but like, you just can't play around the stuff that Spike has. This is just, it's just too much. Flusterstorm. Whoa. Spike loves Flusterstorm. I think it's terrible, but he loves it so much. I mean, when it's good, it's good. When it's good, it's good.
It was pretty good right there.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, the fact that it can't counter stuff like Chalice of the Void and Planeswalkers like Teferi, it's like it just makes it unplayable for me. But maybe it's just a great card. Who knows?
It also can't stop Breach, like from Spider Space's deck, if those two end up meeting up in the tournament.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I can't think of too many other viable enchantments. Maybe Seal of Fire. Like, it can't stop Seal of Fire.
Well, I mean, the big deal is that it doesn't counter artifacts, right? Like, that's the actual big deal. Oh, we just have a lethal here. Yeah, this is just. Yeah, that was just a clinic. That was just a great, great mid-range matchup. Though I guess that Spike was definitely the aggressor there. The thing is that this is what Lurrus does, right? Like, the aggressive deck has more card advantage than the hardcore mid-range deck. Mm-hmm. It's insane. Like, this is where Lurrus really turn the tables on the way that we think about this kind of aggressively slanted decks, or I guess tempo slanted. But you know, this is what happens every now and then in Legacy. This is kind of what happens, right? Like, you have the Delver deck, and then the Delver deck gets a busted card, and then it becomes the best deck in the format by so much. Like, this happened with Deathray Shaman, and it had to be banned. This happened with Ren and 6, it had to be banned. This happened again with Lurrus, and it had to be banned. Yep. So We see it over and over again, and the same thing being true here in modern, right? Like we actually have a Delver, like a tempo-oriented style of deck. We're trading resources and we're playing Protect the Queen, and then when the Queen finally comes out to play, it's just over, because like now not only do we have the tempo advantage, but we also have the card advantage.
Yes.
So you just get everything. You just get your how does the saying go? You get your cake and you eat it too.
Eat it too, absolutely.
Right. That's what that was. It.
You get to have a mana advantage. You get to have a
Nailed
tempo
that one.
advantage. You get to have card advantage, all off of a easy to play companion. Because you want a double spell or triple spell. Well, all your spells are 1 or 2 mana. All your permanent spells are 1 or 2 mana. You can still cast Cryptic Command in the same deck if you want. Absolutely fantastic addition to these style decks.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know how much longer we're gonna see the card in the format. I think we're gonna have it for a while. I think it's gonna be here for a while. I don't think the Loros decks are broken, but a couple of them are definitely on the edge of brokenness. So we're gonna see how the metagame adapts, and particularly the red black prowess deck. It's
sweet.
starting to be a little bit worrisome. Unfortunately, like the decks that we submitted for the league were submitted like a month or over a month ago at this point. So nobody submitted what is currently the best deck in the format, obviously. But because we didn't know it back then, obviously. Like that deck is like, it's just a well-tuned and finely oiled machine, and it just fires on all cylinders all the time, and it's really easy, and I find myself losing to that deck on turn 4 or 5 while my opponent still has like 5 cards left in hand, which is just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, that's what the cut does. Cut's pretty good.
Nightmare Kitty.
Yeah, Nightmare Kitty.
Representing what, about 70% of all like top 8 decks right now, some sort of companion.
Yes, there's very few. I mean, it's easier to just think about the decks that don't play companions, right? Which are Eldrazi, Amulet Titan, and
Dredge.
Some forms of Green Tron. Dredge is not really a deck anymore.
Only with
it's really,
only for Sodek.
Not even. Sodek has been playing Ad Nauseam lately, which is what I was going to say next. Ad Nauseam is actually pretty well positioned right now, and that's kind of it. Out of all the tier decks, those are the only decks in Modern currently that don't play any companions. So yeah, scary stuff.
And some decks are playing companion just because they can. There's a control deck running that 3/2 that you can't run creatures other than like cats or something, but they don't run creatures, so they're just running that. There's also Storms running Gigantha, Tron's running Gigantha, Humans running Gigantha, and those aren't really cards that they're using to the best of their ability. And Niv Mizzet running Gigantha, it's just why not have an 8th card in your starting hand for a requirement you've already met?
Exactly. If it's free, having an 8th card in your hand is always worth. It's always worth it more than having the 15th cyber card that you might or might not use. There's going to be random situations here and there. I mean, that's why, again, like the blue white deck that you were talking about, the Miracles deck, which is the one that Aspirant Spike, actually, our very own Aspirant Spike, qualified to the Pro Tour with like 2 or 3 weeks ago now. But he just running Kahira because it's free. Like, it's not really good in the matchup, in any matchups really. It's just like we're not running any creatures anyway, so we might as well have an 8th card in our starting hand. And it's a card that you can just trade away. Like, it's just
3/2.
It might block. Yeah, it might block. It might save you some life that you might need in order to stabilize. It's not like insane or anything, but it's just free and it's always there. It's an 8th card that you have access to in your hand at all times in every single matchup. So why not? Why not?
And all it costs is a sideboard slot. And I would gladly give up a sideboard slot if I could start with even a generic 3 for a 3/2 Vigilance every single time starting hand.
100%. 100%.
So that was that match. The next match is me against Spider Space. Noble Murlocs internet is still down. He's in contact right now with whoever the internet provider is. I don't want to say it and then be wrong. So with his internet provider. So hopefully he jumps back in. Otherwise, you're going to have a solo show with Francisco commentating, watching me play some Amulet Titan Karn. Again, I'm going to get a little bit nervous with Sensei over here watching my match. I don't know.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to hold any blows, my friend. Gonna get you.
Here's hoping I don't ruin anything with Amulet Titan Karn against Spider Space's innovative Luris Breach deck. For those of you who haven't checked it out, modernstreamersleague.com, go to deck list tab all the way down. Check out Spider Space's Breach deck, which has a Luris as a companion instead of a main board inclusion. So he cut the Emeries, cut the Luris as a creature, and he's using Luris as a companion. So he's doing the same thing that the control decks are doing, and just having that 8th card, but his 8th card is a card that he actively wants to see anyway. So pretty sweet innovation from Spider Space with this Breach deck. So in just a minute, we'll be back with Amulet Titan Karn against Luris Breach. Yeah, I don't got boats. Yeah, stinks about his internet. Ready whenever you are. You don't have to... I am unmuted. Ha ha ha.
All right, hello and welcome. It's gonna be another match of the MSL. We're gonna see Spider Space on his Sweet Brew with Luris combo versus we're gonna see Saint Doom on Amulet. Near and dear to my heart. We're gonna be having a solo commentary from me this time around, so hopefully I can hang in there. We see a super medium hand here from Spider. I think that we're going to be shipping this one. Whenever you see an opening hand with this kind of deck, I would imagine that you're looking for very specific things. You always have to remember you do have access to a companion, but yeah, that hand did not seem particularly well. This hand, apparently it's better. That's what Spider says, so I will believe him. All right, turn 1 Gemstone Mine into Stacy. That's pretty good. That's definitely a solid start over there from the early deck. Okay, so we have an endgame now. So we're gonna see the good old bubble trick over here. Redundant Cannon, probably something that Spider's not interested in. So I would imagine that we're going to be shipping it away. So we get our red source. So we have all of our colors of mana. And we have a Keenan, and another land is not what spiders wanted to see for sure. At least it's a fetch land which feeds our Underworld Breach, so we might be able to value Breach at some point. Alright, so same Doom over there, floating the mana, doing some Stacy tricks. Now we're going to see an Explorer. Oh, look at this, it's a beauty. Man, I want to play this deck that same Doom is playing. It looks great. I wonder what they're going to do with all that mana. Yeah, pretty tough break for Spider Space here. I would imagine that we're going to play the 2/2 and we're going to hope for something. I don't really know what we're hoping for, really. This just looks really bad. His hand really did not end up working out. Also, one thing to be mindful of is, like, we are nowhere close of casting Larus, so, like, that value engine is not going to happen. Oof, this is huge. All right, Karn the Great Creator makes an appearance. For all of you that don't know, I'm a big fan of Karn the Great Creator. I think it's great, and it does a lot of work in Amulet Shells specifically. And against Spiders, basically artifact-based deck, it's probably going to be pretty solid. I wonder what we're going to go get. Let me see the deck list real quick over here. Let me look it up so we can see what available things we have in the sideboard. All right, Grafdigger's Cage. Yeah, that seems like a pretty good one. Yeah, so we have access to Explosives, Walking Ballista, Grafdigger's Cage, and Worm Coil Engine and Coating, Liquid Metal Coating. All right, yeah, so Grafdigger's Cage there is a no-brainer. Looking great. Spider attempting to clog the Karn. Like, this Chromatic Star, everything is just... Yeah, everything is just locked down by the Karn. Karn doing a lot of work right now. And with Saint Doom actually playing out the Toloes, something tells me that we're going to be seeing a Primeval Titan coming down right now. And with Spider not really having access to a lot of counter magic and nothing of that in his hand, this is probably going to be... Yep, there we go. There's Prime Time. Yep, that should be GG's. I don't think that Spider's going to be able to come back from that. Yeah, he just bats it in. Not much to do there. The combo's locked down by the Karn, and then the Prime Time is just going to win the game in very quick order. So no surprises there. Sideboarding. What do we have for sideboarding? Damping Sphere is interesting. Silo Primordium, of course, a great combo with Lurrus, and actually Silo Primordium and Nature's Flame, it got a lot better against Amulet than they used to be, because they actually answer Dryad of the Elysian Grove very cleanly. So I would still believe that Spider has a positive matchup against Amulet. I have not faced this deck so far, so I'm not 100% sure about that, but just on paper, just looking at the cards that Spider's playing, these are all cards that I'm very scared of facing. So I don't think that we want the Hopo Gearper. I agree with that. We definitely want the Damping Sphere. It's funny that we're using Damping Sphere in this kind of combo deck that wants to play a bunch of spells in the same turn, but like our very win condition, which is the Grinding Station, allows us to sacrifice Damping Sphere whenever we want to actually go off, which is just a beautiful piece of deck building. Seal of Fire is interesting. Is that just as a way to answer Karn? Yeah, I think that's just as a potential way to answer Karn using Lurrus, which speaks of, how unprepared Spider really is for Karn. And that's what it does, right? Like, Karn really attacks from a very different angle. And that it's just like the cards that you need to answer Karn are not cards that you would want to be playing necessarily against Amulet. Interesting opener that we see over here. Actually, it's a cantrip and it's going to do a lot to fix her mana, so I'm not surprised to see this as a keep. We definitely want to see a second land. We probably can't do much until we find a second land, so not surprised to see that. This is a keep from Spider. Huh. All right. So we're fetching for the snow forest, and we're just playing the Astrolabe. Pretty straightforward turn there. Huh. Fetching for the forest, immediately drawing the Mystic Sanctuary. You love to see it. Turn 1 Cage is pretty good there. We do have the answer, so I don't think we're too worried about it. So I would expect that Spider's just gonna take his time, and he's just going to deploy his cards. I wouldn't mind seeing the Mystic Sanctuary being played here and just play the Chromatic Star in this turn. We want to get the ETB tap lands out of the way. We're just not going to get to Mystic Sanctuary is just not entering untap this game. So it's just a matter of whether he wants to play a 2-drop this turn, or he wants to just play, just a 1-drop, and then he wants to double spell next turn potentially. All right, so we are playing the Silver Murloc this turn. So we already have an answer to the cage, so we're not too worried about that, which is nice. Same thing with the Ancient Steerings. Let's see what Steerings finds. Steerings, of course, becomes a lot more powerful in the Amulet decks once you are running Karn the Great Creator in your list, of course. Castle Garenbrig is a pretty good pickup here for Saint Doom, of course. He wants to make sure that he can cast Titan ahead of schedule, and that card does exactly that. All right. I'm not sure what that means, but apparently it's pretty good because Spider's face suggests that. So I would imagine that this allows Spider to kind of go bonkers next turn. So now Astrolabe actually taps for mana, which is pretty exciting. Chromatic Star actually nets mana as well, so that's nice. All right, that's cool. We're going to get to do some stuff next turn. Especially because the Seal of Primordium is going to very easily get rid of this Grafdigger's Cage, so I would not be surprised if next turn we're seeing Lurrus plus sacrifice my Chromatic Star, play it again, and do like a bunch of things in a row. Huh. So we're playing the tapped castle, and we're playing a Stacy here. Hall of Helios Generosity. I don't think that does much here. Wow. I just realized how ridiculously greedy Spider Space's mana base really is. It's pretty funny. All right, so we're sacking for red mana, which is going to net us 2 mana, which is pretty sick. Fortunately, Keenan is legendary, because otherwise it would be absolutely busted. Yeah, so we see that we're going to be casting Lurrus here. So we're probably going to Lurrus. We're going to recast the Chromatic Star. We're going to net 1 more mana there. We don't really have our combo going here, though. So I think that we're probably just going to pass here. Without an amulet in play, there's no way for Saint Doom to cast a Titan next turn. I guess that he could have 2 untap lands, which is probably what he's working with. So I guess that we could be seeing a Titan here even without an amulet. That doesn't do it though. Karn is pretty good here. You probably have to crack this Chromatic Star in response. Yeah. Because Karn is basically the same as Stony Silence. You do see this kind of effects not stopping mana abilities, but Karn actually does. So we're going to see that Astrolabe and Chromatic Star are basically just not going to do anything at all. Just going to be sitting there. Very smartly, Saint Doom pluses the Karn. No surprises there. He wants to, this is Saint Doom's ticket to victory, right? So we definitely want to make sure that the Karn cannot be easily answered here. So we're swinging for 5 at the Karn. Spider would love to find a red sword, a Seal of Fire or something like that. Funnily enough, he wouldn't be able to cast it, though, which is hilarious. Man, that's a rough mana base. Play Mystic Sanctuary and Heliod, Hall of Helios Curiosity, and also Basic Forest. It is a lot. I'm a big fan of casting my spells, so I don't do that kind of thing, but I appreciate how Spider Space likes to live on the edge. All right, Karn survives at 1 loyalty, but it's not it is. Wow. All right, second Karn. Jeez. So did we just see a replay of the previous turn? Stacy not doing anything though. Oh, this is sweet. This is sweet. This is what I like to see. So we're sacrificing the Seal of Permanence just to draw a card. Dumping Sphere doesn't really do a lot here. We're definitely going to be attacking the Karn again, of course. And we're probably going to be replaying the Chromatic Star, and then we can Nature's Claim our own Chromatic Star if we need to. I would imagine that Spider is going to play the Dumping Sphere. I don't think it's going to be doing too much. Saint Doom missing land drops is kind of a big deal there, honestly. So I would imagine that this Dumping Sphere is going to end up being pretty huge. Specifically, the card Castle Garenbreak has done a lot for making Dumping Sphere a much worse card than it used to be against Amulet. In the past, Amulet used to play a bunch of bounce lands, and then okay, so we're pacting for Reclamation Sage. This doesn't seem like a great line here, unless we're following this up with Tormod Script or some way of exiling the Dumping Sphere. This is not a great line. Yep, all right, we're getting rid of the Dumping Sphere. Spider is like, sounds good, sounds good. Yeah. We just recast the Dumping Sphere. Not doing too much over there. That's basically a nice little time walk that Saint Doom gifted Spider Space. Yeah, I mean, this is looking, even with the Karn on board, this is looking pretty good for Spider Space at this point. He basically has a free turn where he can do whatever he wants, because Saint Doom is going to be paying for his pact on the next turn. So yeah, we do see the Keenan getting in there, trying to clock the Karn. Of course, we don't want to expose Delurus. Oh, we're trading there? Oh, okay. So I guess we're going to get to answer this. We're going to get to answer the Karn next turn, which is probably going to be game for Spider Space. That seems to me like a little bit of a misstep from Saint Doom. I'm pretty sure that he might have not. Yeah, he might have not considered that in his decision making. At least we did draw land, so we are playing the Valakut this turn, and with any untapped land, we might be able to play a Titan next turn. This Metallic Rebuke is huge, though. So we're clocking the Karn here. Dumping Sphere still in play. We could also play the Grinding Station there. Apparently we don't. Yeah, this Metallic Rebuke is gonna be money. Yep. Getcha. Metallic Rebuke is so good. When it's one mana leak, it just feels so busted. All right, so Spider manages to catch Saint Doom with his pants down, and yeah, this is looking really good for Spider right now. Is this actually lethal? This might actually just be lethal here. So we're probably just looking for a 0. No, we have explosives, so we're not any mana, but we can just go infinite here. So I imagine that's what we're going to see. So we're going to grind in station, we're going to sack the Dumping Sphere, mill ourselves, and there's no way that Saint Doom can actually stop this. Yeah, this should be game right now. Yeah, the Spider's deck looked very impressive this match. Looked really, really impressive this match, which is not what we saw game 1, right? Like game 1, we kind of saw Spider kind of roll over and just die, but right now we're seeing like the real power of this deck. So now he gets to replay Mox Ember and mill himself infinitely with Grinding Station, netting mana every single turn, every single time. And then he eventually, after he mills himself, he just casts the Thassa Circle that's hanging in his graveyard, and he wins. So pretty good showing right there from the Spider Spaces Brew. Definitely the story of that game was how much Saint Doom struggled to make it to 6 mana, of course. And this is actually something that actually happens. We do see amulet lists going up on lands over and over again. You know, like in the past, like 28 or 27 used to be the standard. We're moving up to 28, 29, 30. Currently, in my list that I've been playing right now, we're playing 31. It's not rare to see people playing 32. It's crazy how a deck that is more than half lands can still sometimes struggle to hit its land drops. But making it to 6 mana can be easy sometimes, and sometimes it's not so easy. So we're definitely seeing the fail rate on the other side over there. But yeah, the Spider struggling through double Karn. I guess not even struggling. It was kind of like breezing through double Karn with a mana base that wasn't really doing much for him, to helping him cast his spells, but it was just good enough to once the Karn was answered, the combo was rolled up and ready to go. This hand looks pretty solid, I would say. So we have Mox Ember that we can cycle even if we want by bouncing by using Repeal. So that's pretty sweet. Again, we do see the mana kind of paying its toll here. But it's nice that we do have an answer to Grafdigger's Gauge effect or something like that in the Sealer Primordium. It could potentially be an answer to a Dryad or an Amulet as well. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this Slotted Strand just goes and gets a Breeding Pool. Turn 1 Amulet is what we see on the other side. All right, Damping Sphere is interesting. We're not there yet, but it's probably gonna do its job at making sure that Saint Doom cannot actually run away with the game. And if we see that Saint Doom actually goes ahead and bounces his own bounce land here, then this Damping Sphere. Those are usually the hands where Damping Sphere is good. Yeah, exactly. When the Amulet player relies on the bounce land, on the interaction between Amulet and bounce land in order to hit his land drops and make its mana, that's when Damping Sphere is good. Let's see what we got here. Ancient Steerings. Also, Sealer Primordium can answer this Dryad very cleanly, which is nice. But Jukibog on the other side, okay. That could matter down the line, especially when we can use the bounce line to return the Jukibog and replay it later in the game. So this is going to be kind of a pivotal turn, actually. This is where Spider is going to have to choose whether he wants to use this turn to develop his own game plan, or whether he wants to use this turn to actually stop Saint Doom from doing the broken thing that he's able to do if he wants to. So we have multiple lines that we can take here. We can play the Damping Sphere in order to stifle Saint Doom's mana. We can play Sealer Primordium to kill either the Amulet or the Dryad. In this current situation right now, I think I would kill the Amulet over the Dryad. It's the more unique effect. We can also repeal the Amulet. That's another line. That's probably not very good unless we really want to draw a card. Man, there's arguments for literally playing every single card in Spider Space's hand right now. This is pretty tough. I'm pretty happy that I'm not in his shoes right now. Alright, so he chooses to go for the Sealer Primordium, apparently. Or not. Wait. Yes. Alright, he figured it out. Alright, so we're probably going to be killing... I guess we are killing the Dryad. Okay, so this means that if Saint Doom has access to another Dryad or an Azusa effect, even Explorer is going to be great. Yeah, Saint Doom is going to be in great shape here. We're not being threatened by a Titan here. Saint Doom would need too many cards to make a Titan here, including a second Amulet. So I don't think that we're going to be looking at a Titan here, but It is always scary when you let your opponent untap with Amulet of Vigor, or in my case, it's really scary when my opponents let me untap with an Amulet of Vigor in play. All right, so Spider does find the land like the professional that he is, and we're gonna play the Keenan. Oh my, this makes so much mana. So we're gonna play Keenan. Now Mox Amber taps for 2 mana, which is pretty hot. We're gonna play the Damping Sphere. Wow. Damping Sphere only affects lands, so like artifacts still tap for multiple mana with a Keenan in play, so that's pretty hot. We are gonna see a second Amulet hit play right now, potentially. But this is what I was saying earlier about this actually being an Amulet hand that does get affected by Damping Sphere, which is not so much the case. With Saint Doom actually bouncing the Bojuka Bog instead of the Symbiotic Chamber, this actually tells me that they drew another bounce land of any kind. Because you always want to, with Double Am, you definitely want to make sure that you have access to a bounce land in hand. All right, so we're attacking. We can make a lot of mana here, so we need to pay 3 mana for this grinding station, but we can do that, no problem at all. So I guess that Spider does not want to play the Goblin Engineer because he knows about the Bojuka Bog in Saint Doom's hand, so that's pretty smart. Yeah, so we're just gonna ship the turn. All right, so can he actually activate Keenan next turn if he wants to? I don't think that does much, right? Like he can hit like maybe one of the remaining 3 Goblin Engineers left, which is not too much, but it is. I mean, you'd probably happy to do. Oh, that's huge! Wow, that's huge! Wow, that's such a good play for Saint Doom here. We're 1 minute off of casting Repeal here. Even after we untap, now all of our artifact mana is done for. So we can even kill the Mox Amber here. Oh, this is gonna be value. Do it, Saint Doom. Do it. Do it. In fact, I think that it might be correct for Spider Space to repeal his Mox Amber here. Nah, there's no way that's true. Like the plan is probably to repeal the Karn on Saint Doom's next end step by ripping a land. So I guess that we kind of have to let the Mox Opal go. The Mox Amber go, sorry. The good thing is that the Bojuka Bog is now in play, so this Goblin Engineer is going to be able to come into play and potentially clock. Wait, why didn't we kill the Mox Amber? Spider is just too good. Spider Space too good. Okay, so now we can bounce the Karn on end step, but I don't think he's ready to go off just yet. He can't cast the Loros, unfortunately, because all his mana is being shut off. So, man, this deck seems so hard to play. This is fun. I think I'm gonna ask Spider Space for a list. Hook me up with a list so I can stream this deck. It looks pretty sweet. So we have 3 unknown cards at this point. So Keenan is probably going to attack the Karn. You want to make Saint Doom believe that we don't have an ass. Oh, we're just going for it right now? YOLO, I guess. Alright, we're bouncing the Karn. I would imagine that's a pretty good draw. I guess that just replaces itself. But I guess it's more stuff that we can have into play. I mean, if you went for it, Spider, you have to go now, right? I guess there's still a Damping Sphere on board, so he can't actually do too much. Well, he can sack the Damping Sphere to the grinding station, but if he's doing that, then he's basically saying, I need to win this game, because if he lets Saint Doom untap with a reasonable amount of mana, and by a reasonable I mean 6, then he's probably just dead on board to a single Primeval Titan. Yeah, that's that's exactly how I feel right now, Spider. He put himself in this situation. Wow, that's kind of funny. So I guess that one of the mana that's made is snow. That's really funny. So the mana, one of the mana that's made is snow because the Ashleigh filters it, but the extra mana from the Kinnan is actually not snow, which is very interesting. All right, what are we gonna do here, Spider? What do you got? I think we probably want to get Chromatic Star, so we have a draw engine going. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. So we're still relying on this Dumping Sphere to do some work here. We're gonna see the Karn come into play again, of course. That's gonna be pretty straightforward. But I don't think there's any way, without getting rid of the Dumping Sphere, I don't think there's any way that Saint Doom can actually play. Yeah, I mean, you have to imagine that Saint Doom had access to another land since they actually they didn't hold on to the Semi-Gross Chamber with Amulet in play. So that was pretty telegraphed at that point. Okay, so we're attacking with everything, trying to clock the Karn. Huh. Karn goes down to 3. Interesting that Saint Doom let this go, especially knowing that Spider has access to Galvanic Blast in his deck. Like, the only reason why he isn't dead is because this Karn is in play. When you pay 2 mana for Ashleigh, it's not as good, isn't it? Yeah, things not looking great for Spider here. Unless he manages to answer this Karn, or unless Saint Doom hand is absolutely nothing. Yep, that's 2 mana. And you know what 6 mana means, right? Does anybody in chat know what 6 mana is? Yes. You are right, chat. 6 mana is prime time. Hell yeah. All right, this prime time is going to come down and it's going to... Oh no. Saint Doom, no. No. Oh, Saint Doom forgetting the Dumping Sphere has text. Come on, Saint Doom, you're better than this, man. He actually warned me. He actually warned me that there was going to be a massive punt in this. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. I love that. All right, things still looking pretty good. Karn is still alive, and let's see Galvanic Blast here off the top. That's definitely what Spider Space is looking for here. No Galvanic Blast. We can still draw a card here, though. We have one more draw towards a Galvanic Blast, but if Saint Doom manages to untap, this game is all but over. So we're going to see... Well, I guess... No, yeah, we do have the red source. We do have the second red source. Okay, all right, this is exciting, chat. This is exciting. What's going to happen here? All right, so we're going to draw a card. Oh, no, the Whiffsky. The Whiffsky. So close, yet so far away. Wow, Karn doing so much work. Karn doing so much work right here. Basically rendering Spider Space's entire strategy just blanked. And this is the problem with Dumping Sphere, right? This is the problem with Dumping Sphere. Dumping Sphere buys you time. Like, Saint Doom, instead of playing this Titan on turn number 4, he played this Titan on turn number 7. But this Titan is coming... This Titan is coming down, folks. Like, you need to make sure that the Amulet deck is under a clock. You need to put pressure on the Amulet deck, because otherwise this Titan is going to come down, and once the Titan is down, you're dead. There's very little that Dumping Sphere can do for you to save you. So we definitely saw a situation where Dumping Sphere bought Spider a lot of time, but Karn bought Saint Doom even more time. So right now we see the pack for the Dryad, and at this point we're gonna get the Valakut, and this game is all but over. I think this is actually just lethal, so I don't think there's any outs the Spider could have. I maybe Saint Doom plays around Nature's Claim or Galvanic Blast. Definitely not playing around Galvanic Blast for sure, because like the Karn would be dead if Spider had access to Galvanic Blast. But maybe Saint Doom plays around Nature's Claim. We're talking about a person that fetched the Slayer Stronghold with a Damping Sphere in play. So clearly Saint Doom is not playing around anything. You're just going for it. Oh yeah, the daggers are real, Saint Doom. You're not getting away from this one. You're not getting away with this one, my friend. I'm so sorry. Okay, so we're gonna be killing. We're just going to go face here and kill the Keenan. We have 2 more land drops, so this is just lethal. We don't have he didn't fetch for the Vesuva though. This is still very lethal. Yeah, we're just gonna see Saint Doom play the bounce land 2 more times, and that's gonna be enough to get away with this one. He tried to give Spider Space a shot, and Spider Space, Karn too good, man. Karn too good, baby. Yeah. Wait, what? Is this just BM right at this point? Chat, what do you think? Is this just BM? Is this is this Saint Doom just going for the BM value by killing? Oh, I hope that he is punished. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. RNGesus. Let there be justice, RNGesus. Let there be justice. Let Saint Doom. Oh no. There is no justice, chat. There is no justice. There is no justice. Wow. Saint Doom getting away with one right here. All right. Let's figure out a way for Spider to kill this Dryad and bounce the forest so that Saint Doom loses to his own pact. Let's do it, chat. Let's figure out. How is Spider gonna do it? How are we getting rid of this basic forest? Let's go. Let's go. Oh man, you can see that Spider's pretty beat down. And I mean, Karn. It's Karn, folks. People say that Karn's not good, but this is my experience too. I just keep winning every time I see I play Karn in my deck. Maybe I should just continue to play Karn in my deck. Why am I not playing Karn in my deck right now? All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go play Karn. Yeah, I mean you have to bounce. You have to bounce the Karn, Spider. You're not going anywhere with that while that Karn is in play. Bounce to the cage. Yep. All right, packing it in, and Saint Doom somehow gets there. Wow, what a match! What a match! Saint Doom. Where can I start? Where can I start?
Can I start? Was it when I packed for a Rex Sage to try to blow up a Damping Sphere with a Luris in play? Was it when I knew there was a Damping Sphere in play? And Ask Spider Space, I literally just wrote into the chat between us, oh man, that Damping Sphere means I don't have lethal. And then I looked away, and I looked back, and I said, oh, I just kill you with Boros Garrison. I run a Gemstone Mine in my deck. I run Gemstone Mine. I have 2. I can still attack. I still have everything I ever wanted in life. I did not deserve that win by any means. Game 1, I think I played fine. Game 2, I flipped it away. In Game 3, I gave Spider Space every chance to win that, but Karn's too strong. So
Karn's too good. This is what it takes to go 10-0 in the MSL, folks. This is what it takes. It's all about getting lucky. In the end, that's what I learned today. We always have a theme for the stream. Today's theme is all about getting lucky. Playing tight doesn't matter. It's just a matter of who gets the luckiest.
See, I want everybody who just
game.
watched that to forget that happened. I'm going to Men in Black that, because that was the worst match I have ever played in my entire life. Like, I'm gonna say I'm tired, but that's not even enough. That's not enough. I'm sorry, Spider Space, for that whole game. I don't know how you played through that, lost, and still had like dignity at the end. You're like, screw this Saint Doom guy. That was an elimination match.
Content.
That's how Saint Doom. That's how Spider Space got eliminated from the tournament.
You know what's great though? The good thing is that we can grab that match and we can use it as an example for future Amulet players as to how to not play the deck.
Did you like erase my name?
No. Let's make sure that your name is there.
Oh, great.
Let's make sure that your name is there. Yeah, for sure. I mean, of course. we're gonna take it.
I want Spider Space to release the uncut edition where I don't have the bracket over it, so you see me in the chat go, oh crap, this is streamed. Oh crap. Oh crap.
Oh, this is good stuff. Well played, Saint Doom. I mean,
no, well played, Spider Space. Did you like my my Miss Lethal at the end just because I grabbed Digger's Cage? I was like, I'm gonna give Spider Space one more chance. It doesn't matter. Like,
yeah. I mean, who wants to lethal your opponent when you can just like kill their dudes?
Well, yeah, I like killing 1/2s that don't matter because there's no graveyard.
To be fair, I willingly go for that line when on stream because like just the entertainment value is just through the roof, right? Like you could win the game, but you willingly choose to just kill all of your opponent's creatures instead. It just I applaud you. That was like the tightest play of all match, Saint Doom.
The best part is
the best play that you made all match.
I'm wearing an Amulet Titan t-shirt. A mod in the Amulet Titan Discord. I posted in leagues an 80% win rate, a 79% win rate. I have all the matches with Amulet Titan for a whole month one time when I was heavily playing. And I just did that. So the lesson I want to pass here, and I want to actually also show, if you go back and watch some Modern Streamers League, it's not just me that sometimes has really terrible games and really terrible misplays, although that might be the worst you can have. Go back and watch my 10-0 run. I didn't do that, okay? I didn't do that. I wish KO Diamonds was in the chat right now because he'd be like, "Do you see this guy?
MVP.
MVP.
Saint Doom is my MVP. Hashtag.
I did not deserve that.
Hashtag Saint Doom is my MVP.
He was doing that earlier. Good. That
good stuff.
I don't know if I've ever been so thoroughly embarrassed in my entire life, and I've done some pretty embarrassing things in my life.
That was some good content, Saint Doom. Good job, man.
Yeah, you know what? I knew I was gonna win because I had Karn in my deck, and Karn can't lose. So I was just like, you know what? I want to give Francisco some fuel so he can be like, this is what you don't do. You don't say, hey, Damping Sphere, it's a problem. Boros Garrison isn't. Hey, let me grab Rex Sage and blow up that Damping Sphere, which doesn't actually matter. The Damping Sphere wasn't even doing anything. If I just waited one more turn and top decked a basic land, I had the Titan mana anyway. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. Stuff. I have no excuse.
Good stuff.
Good.
The good thing is that we have one last match remaining, so we can take this sour taste out of our mouth. You know, after that match.
Do you want me to tell them? Do you want me to tell them? The next match is me again. Don't worry, I will not play that poorly. I don't think I can. Right. I don't think I could play that poorly if I tried.
All right. All right,
It
let's
is
do it.
Aspiring Spike on Grixis Delver against me.
All right, I mean,
So
bring it on. Let's do it.
I mean,
I'm just defeated at this point. I'm just defeated.
the chat says if you would have shame scooped after the first punt, you couldn't have punted 2 more times. That's true. You know, honestly, when I packed it for Rexage, I was like, and then I played Rexage, I was like, oh no. Oh no. I almost, if it was a casual game or a league, I would have conceded right there. Just right there and gone to game 3. But I was like, maybe they won't notice.
Oh, the disrespect is
Is
real.
it? You know what?
The disrespect is real.
I played so poorly, I deserve all of that. But one thing that you can't take away from me is that I did 10-0 at the MSL last year without making those punts. So as long as I don't make punts, I win. And if I do make punts, apparently I still win. So let's see.
You can just register Karn. That's all that you're learning. Just register Karn, and your punts don't matter anymore. So
for those,
I think I learned something today.
For those who don't remember, my 10-0 run started with Karn the Great Creator. So,
there you go. Clearly, we're noticing a pattern here, right? We're noticing a little pattern going on here. Exciting stuff.
Bold words from the elimination bracket. Chat says yes. See, I eliminated Francisco, therefore I am the better Amulet Titan player. That's what all of this means, right?
That's what
this means. You know, I beat Caleb. Sure, that means I'm better at Storm, right?
Facts.
Yeah, facts, not opinions.
Just facts.
I beat Yamakiller, so I'm better at Mono Red, right? By the way, I think I'm worse than all of these players. I'm just having fun.
That's how it works. That's how Magic works usually.
Yeah, so when you beat somebody, you absorb their power. It's like Space Jam. Yeah.
It's just Space Jam. Great stuff.
All right, so we'll be back in just a minute. I'm going to see if Scott's internet is fixed. If so, he'll be able to join in on the Saint Doom Smackdown when I'm hopefully absolutely wrecking Aspiring Spike and redeeming myself. So,
of course, looking forward to it.
We'll see you in just a minute.
All right, folks, last match of the night, actually. I'm a little bit sad about this, all right? But here we go. Saint Doom is back. Saint Doom is back for more. Let's see how much we will learn this time around from Saint Doom. All right, so Some bit of medium hand. Not surprised to see Saint Doom mulligan in that one. This is definitely a mold, of course. Our other land is just a bounce land, so this is a keep. This is a keep. It's definitely on the medium side of keeps, but you're probably still happy to keep this one. So I think we're probably going to bottom the Dryad and maybe like the Summoner's Pact. I think I would bottom Summoner's Pact here. All right, we're getting a little bit greedy. That's fine. So we're going to get to Explore on turn 2. So Spike only has one deck left. So Saint Doom knows from the beginning that he's going to be paired against Lurus Delver. So no surprises there. And yeah, we see the fast land coming into play here. Explore is at its. I was gonna say Explore is at its best in this kind of matchup when you really want the extra land drop. But that Spell Snare is huge, mostly because Spell Snare is basically a dead card in the matchup. There's like 1 or 2 targets total for the card in the matchup, so pretty great for Spike that he was actually able to extract value from that. The Sprite Dragon also is going to begin the clocking situation, so only 1 card left for say Doom here. Second Sprite Dragon, okay. Oh, oof. All right, so Spike's going super aggro here. All right, so this is going to allow Saint Doom to transmute for a bounce land or a castle. Also, if he wants to play it slow, he can transmute for a Cavern of Souls. That might be the better play. And just hope that you get lucky and that because he has like a single Cavern of Souls and he has multiple bounce lands, so maybe statistically speaking, I guess he has 2 caverns, mismatching caverns too. Saint Doom, they disrespect, man. I don't think he's gonna have enough time to transmute for. I don't think he's going to have enough time to transmute for a bounce land and then transmute for the cavern. So I think we're just going to YOLO this Titan, like the kids say nowadays. So we do play and we replay the Radiant Fountain. That's cool. Of course, Saint Doom making the correct play and assuming that the Delver's never going to flip. But yeah, that was I would have probably attacked there with the with the Dryad there. I don't. It's possible that those 2 points of damage don't really matter. How are we going to navigate this now, though? Wow, not playing the amulet and not playing the pact either. I think that the Delver flipped to a revealed Archmage's Charm, so I'm not surprised to not see the Summoner's Pact being played there. But I think I would have played the amulet as bait, like if Spike counters it or steals it or whatever. That's probably great news for you. So I think I would have tried to use my mana there. This is looking incredibly great for Spike at this point, though. I'm honestly kind of interesting that Spike didn't cycle the Archmage's Charm, didn't just use the divination. He ended up cycling an Unearth instead. The reason for that might be that he doesn't have another form of counter magic. Yeah. I don't think that Saint Doom is going to have time for this, unfortunately. I think that, yeah, like he's just dead now. Yeah. I think he was dead anyway, so not really that much equity to be gained there. Yeah. There was nothing for him to do there because he didn't just cycle the charm, and we're looking terrible there. No pacts in Saint Doom's list. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Karns being sided out here. Maybe they're going to stay in the deck, but I wouldn't be surprised if those are the cards that we're going to cut here. I love the Explosives on the Walking Ballista and the Dismember. Bailoff is medium, but we still will play it, I guess. It's still better than Karn. Usually you don't like Karn in matchups that, just like this one, are really tempo-oriented. because if your opponent spends like 1 or 2 mana to counter your Karn, which is really hard to protect, you can usually force through your Titans thanks to Cavern of Souls, but there's no such card for Planeswalkers, fortunately. So it's usually like a good strategy to try to rely on your creatures to do the killing instead of the Planeswalker. Also, we're not getting any value from the static ability whatsoever, like Mishra's Bubble maybe, but yeah, so definitely some straightforward sideboarding from Saint Doom there. Game 2, let's see what's up. That was such a great hand from Spike. And when the Spike's that Delver style deck, when those hands look like that, that's when they are super scary. We don't have a solid hand from Saint Doom here. We would love for this Stacy to survive. Stacy is Sakura Tribe Scout, by the way. If this is a push, all right, Delver is actually good news for us. It definitely puts a clock on the table, which we are kind of scared of. But that means that Stacy survives, at least for one more turn. Saint Doom's mana is kind of awkward here. So he's not going to be able to transmute for a while. But we do have a plan here. Yeah, of course. Delver doesn't flip, unsurprisingly. Yeah, this forces Spike to tap out here. So now we're going to have a Titan. We're going to see a Titan thanks to Castle Garenbrig, folks. Castle Garenbrig it's really good. It's really, really good. So we're going to see Saint Doom bouncing the forest here, and he's going to play the forest in with the extra land drop. He's going to play the castle, and there's going to be enough mana for turn 3 Primeval Titan. Pretty... Please, unless he had played the Garenbrig first, that would have been really funny. And very on theme with Saint Doom's plays today. But no, he actually plays this one properly. It's because he's wearing the hat right now, you know? The hat gives him powers. All right, what are we fetching? I like Field of the Dead. Radiant Fountain plus Field of the Dead. Interesting. I don't think that Spike has any ways of answering a resolved Primeval Titan here, actually. So we do see... Okay, so we're transmuting Tulare West next turn. I think that's the line that we're going for. Gaining life, Force of Negation revealed. Too late for that one, Spike. Yeah, this Titan is going to very easily outvalue anything that Spike can put on the table. So I guess the Spike's only shot at this point is basically to present a 2-turn clock with what he has, which is going to be pretty tough to do because Saint Doom has access to Vesuva and also has access to Radiant Fountain and Bounce Lands, so he's going to be able to gain a reasonable amount of life. All right, these bubbles do a lot of work in helping Spike get there. There's going to be an attack for 9. Jeez, that's a lot of damage. All right, this Delver deck is pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so this Titan is going to end up winning this game, right? So the only thing that matters at this point is how can Saint Doom not die? That is the only thing he's trying to figure out. Step number 1 probably includes not giving Spike value from this Force of Negation. So we don't want to cast any spells into it. We definitely want to let the Titan do the working. And we have enough to gain 4 life here, which is not nothing. We probably want to get Field of the Dead as well. Yeah, so Field plus Vesuva is what I would imagine we're going to see here. So this makes it so Saint Doom gains the most amount of life. Spike knows that a Lightning Bolt is going to be just good nonetheless. So, yeah. Unsurprisingly, that's what we see. Saint Doom is basically on survival mode. He knows that this Titan is going to be lethal eventually. So as long as he can figure out a way to not lose the game, he's going to be in fine shape. Okay, so we're transmuting for Walking Ballista is pretty big game here, actually. So Walking Ballista actually kills the Delver. and makes sure that like this Sprite Dragon is gonna need to do all the damage by itself. That's a pretty tall order. Yeah. All right. So Spike just backs it in there to the Walking Ballista. And we're gonna have it game 3, folks. These are quick. This is probably like the fastest match that we've seen so far. These are really quick. Yeah, we see St. Doom cybering out some pacts now that he knows that Spike is leaving the forces. So I'm not surprised by that line. And now Karn looks even less appealing than it was before because we know that Spike's leaving the forces. So definitely like that slight change in sideboarding. All right. All right, this hand is interesting. I think we keep it, but it could really go either way. Turn 1 Delver is very good. We're probably going to see the same trick that we saw earlier with the Delver here. Spike being the great player that he is, of course, making sure that he gets the max amount of value. He goes with the Amulet here. Very interesting. So he's assuming that the Secure Tribe Scout is going to die, so he wants to make sure that he can play Dryad on turn 2. And we see that trick that I was mentioning earlier today, and we see that the Delver immediately flips thanks to the opt that was revealed off of it. Another Delver coming into play. I guess we probably E for 1 here. Like, this is a lot of pressure, folks. This is a lot of pressure. Huh. Do we want a double spell, or do we want to just play the Stacy? Wait, what? No, yeah, that was what I was going to say. St. Doom almost doing what he does best, which is punting games away. Yes, it never stops. It just never gets old. All right, so Delver doesn't flip, of course. Are we gonna see an attack with the non-flip Delver? All right, so we only see the attack with the flip Delver. Mana base looking a little bit shaky over there for Spike. He is actually still 1 black source away from casting this Lurus. And what are we going to see here? What are we representing? Is this Aether Gust? It could be Aether Gust. What are we looking at here? Lightning Bolt Face. Whew. All right. Now I'm scared. Whoa. There's going to be 3 spells. So St. Doom can still pay for this Flusterstorm if he wants to. I would imagine that we will see that. Yeah. We're not really using our mana on anything else right now, so I'm not surprised to see this here from St. Doom. What I am surprised to see here is that they are actually choosing to... I think that we definitely want to blow these Delvers up. So I would be interested in trying to figure out a way to make sure that I have access to the most amount of mana for my next turn. We do have access to 2 land drops right now, though. So we might see Field into Semi-Growth Chamber bounce your Slayer Stronghold. It really is not exciting to blow up your own creatures and your own amulet, but like I also don't think it's particularly exciting to lose. So I think I would try to make sure that I have access to the most amount of mana here for next turn. If he does draw an untapped land, then he still can cast this Worm Call on the following turn. Though he is one turn. If he finds another bounce land, he's not going to be able to do that. All right, so that resolved. Delvers are gonna get destroyed. And I imagine we're gonna be bouncing exactly. All right, good. So I guess that it's better for us to just crack it right now and get our 2 points of damage in. It might be relevant down the line. We're gonna see how that works. Yeah, we're gonna see if bouncing the wrong land in the previous turn is actually gonna end up costing Saint Doom some precious percentage points, because he's not going to be able to. If he draws a bounce land, he's gonna be very, very punished by his play last turn. Unearth getting back the Delver. Okay, Spike is putting a lot of pressure. Spike is putting a lot of pressure in the air too, which makes things a lot harder. Yes, he gets punished. So, for those of you wondering if, because the Dryad allows him to play 2 lands, he could play the bounce land, return. He could play the Vesuva copy in his bounce land, return the Slayer Stronghold, and then play the second land. And if he had bounced a different land on the previous turn, he would have been able to have 6 mana on this turn, being able to deploy the Wurmcoil Engine. So at this point, I think it's correct what Saint Doom is doing right here, which is copying his opponent's land. So not really surprised to see that there. We still have access to the 6 mana that we need. And it's basically a matter of, does this ever flip or not? Because I think that we're down to 0 cards, if I'm not mistaken. It's very small, so I can't see the amount of cards in hand, but I think it looks like a 0. Yeah, so it is a 0. So yeah, if this Delver flips, Saint Doom is probably gonna be dead. And if it doesn't, we continue playing. Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is the beautiful thing that I find about Amulet, right? Like, you always need to be thinking one turn in, at least 1 or 2 turns in advance, right? You need to know what your potential outs are and what gets you there. Okay, how to sequence your lands, how many lands to play in this case, which land to bounce. One tiny mistake can result in you just losing a game that you might have otherwise have lost. Like Saint Doom would be attacking with a Wurmcoil with an 8/6 Wurmcoil at that. If he had sequenced he had bounced a different land in that turn, and the deck can be punishing. The deck can be certainly punishing, except. And these are the nice games that I like with Amulet, right? Like these are the games that are razor thin. You know, where every single decision that you make matters. Sometimes you just have a double Amulet draw and you just roll over your opponent. But this was definitely one of the razor thin games, and Saint Doom was punishing by the slightest of mistakes, right? Like the slightest of mistakes. But that's what it's really about. That's what it's really about, and that is the beautiful thing about this deck, and why it just keeps me hooked after literally years of playing, just casting the same card. Literally like 4 or 5 years of just casting the same 6 mana card, and it just never gets old, because it's just so constantly refreshing to see like how every decision that you make just matters considerably. No flipping of the Delver is a big deal there. All right, so we're gonna see a couple of bubble triggers thanks to the Lurrus, and we can present lethal next turn, but it's just gonna be too late. We just don't have enough mana. Excuse me. We just don't have enough damage, sorry. We're just gonna flash back the lightning bolt. Interesting. That was a great match. Razor thin, and it only came down to one tiny mistake that could have completely turned the tables. Great magic. You love to see it. You love to see this kind of, like, people tell me, like, it can be boring to play against Amulet or like combo decks or stuff like that, but you saw that it was very minor, right? Like it was just like a super tiny mistake, one extremely small thing that if you really think 1 turn ahead or 2 turns ahead, it's you end up seeing, right? You end up figuring out, okay, so this Delver needs to die, which means that my Amulet dies, which means that I want to maximize the amount of mana that I have that I have by the end of the turn. And like failing to figure out that 1 turn in advance ends up delaying the worm coil turn by 1 turn, which was crucial, especially because that was the turn that Spike chose to tap out, right? So the worm coil would have been good to go. You would have been able.
Well, he might not have tapped out if I had 6 mana, but yeah, he might not have tapped out if I had the 6 mana.
No, I mean, wasn't he at 0 cards in hand, so he had to.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so he had to tap out, and basically, like if that work call had been in play, you would have been forcing chumps on the other side of the battlefield, and basically 8 life ahead. So that small tiny mistake ends up turning the tables, and Spike advances to the next round.
Learning moment. The chat's saying Vesuva you can choose not to copy a land with Vesuva's ability, and therefore it does not come into play tapped, and then you can obviously
use
also
the mana. True. That's also true. That's also true. Yeah, that's actually something that I missed right there when I was making my analysis.
Because then I could have played the worm coil.
Exactly.
Worm coil, absolutely. Yep. So I did not know that. That's a really fringe thing. Does MTGO let you do that?
Yes, I actually in my cyber guides I actually talk about this when talking about Urborg, right? That's how I was aware of this interaction. It's because like when the 8-rack deck was a deck, which isn't really anymore, but back in the day, the 8-rack deck used to play like 2 or 3 Urborgs. So you used to see 8-rack in the queues every now and then, pretty often, and you could actually do that while your opponent has an Urborg in play, and then you can tap your Vesuva for mana. So I actually did cover this in my cyber guides.
If you don't choose a land on the battlefield, Vesuva enters the battlefield untapped as itself. But I've played Vesuva turn 1 as my land before, and it still enters tapped on MTGO.
No, it doesn't. It enters untapped, actually. Yep. It's actually super weird.
Yeah, that is a weird fringe thing.
It is a super weird thing. But yeah, since you did have the Dryad in play, that would have also been a line that would have allowed you to play the worm coil ahead of schedule.
Yes, and I think that having the worm coil in play would have drastically changed that entire game there, and then I would be 100%. Moving on instead of aspiring Spike. But it's hard how tilts and punts kind of escalate. We saw that in the game with Spider Space. I just kind of let the tilts just rule my day there and just kind of get out of hand, leading one tilt leads into another mistake, and that can kind of get in your head a little bit. And a set dirt bit definitely got in my head.
100%. The mental aspect and like the mental fortitude from playing Magic is one of those. Probably not really as discussed matters, but this kind of stuff really shows up, and it really can tax you, especially after longer events. When you go to a GP or something, that's like 10 hours of like playing Magic when you consider like waiting for the next round to start. Sorry, so it's one of those things that you really need to have a super strong mental game in order to make sure that not only the punts don't get to you, but also like your opponent slow playing or like that kind of stuff.
That's a tough one. Yep.
Yeah, even stuff like not drinking enough water and like being thirsty or being hungry. Those games can be really long, and it's one of the main issues when I stream longer events in Magic Online. That's definitely one of the most problematic issues for me. When you're playing like 9 rounds and you have like 9 rounds like a top 8 or something like that, it's so much Magic. it's so much time of like sitting down, like staring at a computer and using mental energy constantly, that you need to be on top of it, and you need to be able to like brush off those losses basically as soon as they happen. It's extremely important to try to keep your head fresh and try to figure out a way to, move on to the next one. Just like I just made a mistake, it happened, and now we just have to move on to the next match, and we have to play the next match or even the next turn. We just need to move on to the next turn, right? Like that.
And show
made
your
a mistake
face.
there. Exactly. Just Make do what you have to do in order to like wake yourself up, and then, all right, that moment is gone.
Yep.
We made a mistake. Moving on.
What I do
Next
between every single round in a paper tournament is I go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom, then I wash my hands and I wash my face between every single round. When I won my 10K, I think it was like 11 or 12 rounds in one day because they crammed the entire thing into one day. And I think I was 11-1. Reddit can check that, or quick Reddit search. But every single round I went to the bathroom, washed my face, and then it refreshes you. The warm water on your face, it wakes you up a little bit, and it kind of is like this. The washing of your face is kind of like washing the bad whatever mistake. Oh, you're like, oh, I didn't play my lands optimally, or oh, I misplayed that and it cost me a game, or whatever it is, or you know what, that opponent really got under my skin because they kept slow playing or they chewed really loudly when they shouldn't even be eating. Like whatever it is, there's something. Let it go, wash it away, and move on. I clearly did not do that here tonight, but
all right, but now you can learn.
But you can
now you can learn from your own advice. And before you play any MSL match, go to the bathroom. You heard it here first.
Yep.
Yeah, that's actually something that I started doing whenever I stream longer tournaments. Whenever I'm streaming leagues, I'm just streaming leagues. So, it's kind of whatever. But whenever I'm streaming like bigger events, I try to make it a thing to take a break. Like the very first couple of times that I streamed longer events, I didn't do this, and I was just like doing other stuff in between, kind of like firing up like a draft or something. And then I realized that by the end of it, I was just like done. So what I started doing is I play my round. Cool, round is over. And I leave for a second. I walk around the house. I like go to the bathroom, as you were saying. I like fill up my water bottle or whatever. I just like I walk for a little bit, and then I come back, and then I hang out with chat or whatever before the next round begins. But yeah, the mental aspect of the game, it cannot be understated.
Especially in a deck that punishes you, like Amulet Titan does. Mm-hmm. So that was actually a big thing that I learned about myself when I was playing back when you could play Paper Magic. I went to a bunch of paper tournaments. I kept going 7-2, cashing. I would bring different decks. I brought Jund. I brought Abzan. I brought Through the Breach deck. I just kept bringing 7-2, cash, and I was like, but I never ever top 8'd. Then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna relax. I'm going to this next tournament. I'm gonna bring a fun deck I made called Abzan Company with Safi Eriksdotter and Renegade Rallier. Renegade Rallier coming back. And you know what? Because I was relaxed going in, I had no pressure on myself. I was like, this is just a fun brew. Like I'm not playing competitively, and I win the whole tournament because I was relaxed. That can't be
easy.
Understated. Humble brags. I have to pick something back up, pick my ego back up from the hammer. The hammer that is Francisco. We even see Noble Murloc here that way. He's just creeping up. He's looking. His internet's not working, but he's like, St. Doom, I think you messed up. Hey, St. Doom, that damping sphere gets brought back by Luris, right?
You don't really see him, but he's actually just like appalled at the situation. He just he's been still for the past hour and a half, just amazed at those top tier punts from St. Doom.
He hasn't even blinked.
No, has not blinked. That's how appalled he is. But yeah,
the chat is on fire right now. I'm confirmed undefeated as long as I'm wearing a diaper. I mean, this is facts. Hashtag facts. If you can go to the bathroom undefeated, boom. And you know what? Intimidation factor. You look your opponent in the eyes and just go. And yeah, it's happening right now. Paper Magic, try it at your next tournament. Please don't. But try it at your next tournament. Undefeated, guaranteed. What do you think, Francisco?
Easy. I think that is the strategy that the pros never tell us. But PB has been wearing diapers for the past 10 years, and look at him.
Absolutely.
Killing it.
And you know what? We're also trying to get sponsored by Depends. So
There you go.
Francisco is going to the next GP in LA, where depends. Is that maybe?
Is there ever going to be another GP? I don't know. If there is one, I will be there. You can count on that, but it is what it is. But yeah, like going back to like stopping like messing around and actually talking about Magic for a bit. I wanted to actually. And I wanted to actually like pinpoint that match specifically because that was actually just a great example of
the
fair
land.
games.
Yep.
That was an Amulet fair game, right? Like nothing that the Amulet deck was fair. Nothing that the Amulet deck was doing was unfair. But every decision mattered, and like it really was about those tiny angles, just precisely when you see like a John mirror or something like that. And Spike played tighter, and they didn't make one tiny mistake, and they ended up on top because they played to their outs constantly, right? Like that line where we saw that just like bolt your face, Flusterstorm, your ancient stirrings to grow my dude.
Yeah.
Right? Like that line is just like, all right, like Spider-Spike knows what's up. He knows that the game is over in the next turn, right? Like or like the next or the following turn. Like I need to make sure that you stumble a little bit, and I need to try to slow down whatever it is that you're doing, so I can figure out a way to set up a clock. So like bolt your face when I have two delvers in play is like the line that is gonna get me there and force you to use your mana to pay for this Flusterstorm if you want to resolve these ancient steerings. It ended up being that it didn't matter, right? Like you could still pay for the steerings and you can still do everything that you wanted. But that is the kind of play that really tells me that Spider knew how he was going to win that game, right? Like
Spike,
game.
Yeah.
Aspiring Spike. Sorry, Spider Spike. Aspiring Spike. He knew what he needed to do to win that game. Okay, what I need to do to win this game is Mike needs to stumble, and I need to just make sure that these Delvers get there. And he did everything in his power in order to make that happen, and that happened. Right, that ended up happening. Maybe it wasn't because of that specific play. Maybe there was a different line that could have been taken there or whatever. But like he made that play with that in mind, right? And he ended up being rewarded by Saint Doom actually being on the other end of that and actually making a mistake that ends up mattering and then turning the entire game around. But Spike was only able to win that game because of how he approached the matchup and how he's exactly. So like if Spike had played more conservatively, maybe Saint Doom has enough time to deploy the Worm Call even through his mistake. Right? So that's something that I really want to point out. Like people always remember the Amulet games where you just like
turn
two. The ones that everybody remembers are the ones where they get turn 2 or when the Amulet player just never gets to 6 mana and just nothing happens. Right? Those are the games that people remember. And when you're playing Amulet, you're like, oh yeah, I hate that deck because like I lose without ever playing anything. Or, on the other side, it's like, oh, I hate the Amulet deck because it kills you on turn 2. Like those are the games that people remember. But in reality, the majority of the games that you play with Amulet look exactly like that, because your opponent is going to be interacting with whatever it is that you're doing. So whatever it is that you're doing is going to get slowed down, and you need to figure out a way to how to navigate these games and do like these little tiny decisions will end up mattering. So always the same, always you gotta be thinking a couple of turns ahead and trying to make sure you know what your game plan is and how you're going to execute that game plan in the best possible way and set yourself up for that.
Absolutely. And I want to point out something that I think is really, really important for anybody who wants to get better at the game of Magic or any strategy game at all. When you lose, and as well as when you win, rewatch the match and see what you could have done differently. The tiny little thing of sequencing my lands. Now, I could be sitting here right now and being like, I mulled to 5 both games. Spike top decked exactly Snapcaster Mage just for lethal, blah, blah.
Yeah.
No. I lost. I had a chance to win that game, and I made a mistake. And I think when players approach the game from that perspective. Now, I made plenty of mistakes tonight. Let's be real, right? But we're ignoring the spider space match because that I'm gonna assume
That doesn't count. Don't look at that
I'm
match.
never
That never
rewatching that
happened.
one again just because I know you know what whatever I got tilted from one stupid brain fart and I kept going. But this matchup here with Aspiring Spike, did Spike win it or did I lose it? Spike played excellent, right, and should definitely be acknowledged for that. Spike did put himself in a situation where the best chance to win. I did not do that with a tiny little thing with the mana, let alone the Vesuva thing. That I just didn't know. Really great to know. Thanks, chat. Now I going forward can remember that, can learn that, and can try to not make that same mistake again. And that's how I think players get better, and that's how players can move on. Yep.
Exactly. It's just about, like, especially with a deck like Amulet, it's all about knowing how you're going to get there and what is the path that will get you there. Like, right? By get you there, I mean like win. How do I win, and which path leads me to winning? So in this case, we didn't know about the worm call because we found that it was in our hand. Okay, and the way to win is like, okay, we need to cast this worm call. This worm call needs to connect. It's not just about casting the worm call. This worm call needs to connect. How do we do that before we die? Okay, so if I do this here, like this Delver is going to kill me. These Delvers, I guess, are going to kill me. So I'm going to need to play the engineered explosives. Okay, cool. So if I bounce this land over here, that means that next turn I'm going to, if I'm blowing up my Amulet to kill these Delvers, next turn I'm going to have access to 5 mana when I start, which means that I can top deck any untapped land or any bounce land because I have a Dryad in play. Right? So now your chances are going from, like 10 or something to 18. Which is a lot more. So
if I had just drawn Cavern of Souls there, it wouldn't have been an issue. But
exactly,
I'm glad in some ways. I mean, I wish I won, but I'm glad in some ways I didn't because I can't be rewarded 2 matches in a row for making a mistake.
No, and also this again, like, and you're taking this the correct way, of course, right? Which is like, how did I lose this game and why did I lose this game? Could I have won this game? And the answer is yes. How? Doing this, and this. All right, cool. So, mental note. We figured that out. We know that for next time when I find myself in that situation, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to say, okay, so what am I doing here?
Take 1 more second to play your land.
Exactly. It's just like, what am I doing here? Okay, so these Delvers are going to kill me, so I need to figure out a way to that. This means that Amulet's gone blue. Okay, so that means I want to make sure that I have the most mana next turn. Okay, cool. So I do this and I bounce this. Cool. That takes 1 extra, like 5 or 10 seconds or whatever. And that is the difference between winning and losing. We literally just saw it right now.
Yes. If that Worm Coil was in play a turn sooner, that game was over.
Yep.
If that Worm
100%.
Coil attacked once, I think that game was over.
Yeah, it would have been a 16-point life swing, so that's pretty good, I hear.
Chat's saying, unbelievably hard to stop playing Amulet. Amulet's very rewarding long term. Absolutely, and the big reason why I think Magic is very rewarding long term, and I'm not just saying that because we're sponsored by Cardwater and by Wizards of the Coast. I'm saying that because it's a game that you can grow with, and it's a game that when you try to approach something competitively, you can't just. I'm definitely guilty of this. You can't just be like, oh, I'm a good player. I've done good things. Whatever. Show up and expect to win. You have to keep putting the hours in. There's a reason that like the best NFL players or any of the best sports players of any are always the ones that are in the locker room early and stay late watching film, trying to get better at different things. It's the same with any hobby or any skill you're trying to get better at. You have to keep playing. You have to, and not just playing. You can't just play and have your brain be like, blah, 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 yeah, I'm having fun, and maybe have a couple brews or whatever you do with your friends. That's fine. That's a great recreation. But if you're trying to be competitive in playing, you need to stop and say, why did you do that? Why am I doing this? And how does that impact the game? Oh, my opponent did this. Now, if you notice when my first game, when I wasn't on camera, Francisco said, what was it? So just it was oh, this means that Saint Doom has a bounce
Has
land in his
another
hand,
bounce.
right?
Yep.
How did he know that? Francisco, you're looking at my hand? No.
Easy.
He's just paying attention to the game state. And it's not just because Francisco knows Amulet well. You can do that with the whole format. You can do that with a lot more just by being knowledgeable, paying attention, and
Exactly.
yeah. Now, obviously, I didn't do that tonight, but it's a great learning. I'm glad Francisco is doing the commentary tonight. And you get the best Amulet player in the world, showing
You.
showing like
How are you?
no, seriously, that game, that last game, game 3, I think most Magic players would recognize how much I punted against Spider Space. Let's just real like I think people be like, I don't think you're supposed to do that. But that game 3 against with Aspiring Spike, I don't know how many players would have been like, no, you should have won that game. They would have been like, oh no, yeah, you mulled to 5 both games, and he had the Snapcaster. Nope, that's not the case. I had a chance to win, and I was punished for not playing optimally.
Yeah, for sure. And that is also definitely a great point, by the way. Like every decision that your opponent makes gives you information about their hand, right? That's such a beautiful part of the game. Like, does your opponent go like turn 1 Inquisition and they take your ramp creature instead of your Dryad, for example? I had that happen the other day. Like my opponent Inquisitions me and I have a Dryad, and then Dryad is by far the best card in my hand. And they take an Explore or like something else that was a lot worse than the Dryad. And I'm like, my opponent has Boil in hand. Never for the entirety of the game, I played Dryad. My opponent died without doing anything for 4 turns in a row with 5 mana.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do anything. And I just made a land drop, played a Titan, won the game. There's so much information that you can gather for anything that your opponent is doing. Like when my opponent didn't take the Dryad there, they basically grabbed the Boil and they put it right this in my face. But you need to read into that, because if you don't read into that, you lose a game that was very easily winnable, and then you go ahead and you say, oh yeah, but they had the Boil. And it's just like, yes, they had the Boil, exactly. So you can play.
I lost because they had Boil. No, you lost because you didn't know what they told you.
Exactly, and it's funny because like I actually won that game because my opponent had the Boil. Right? Like if my opponent hadn't had the Boil and they had something else, or they didn't make a play that just telegraphed the Boil so obviously, maybe if they had a different card, they would have, been able to punish me for not playing my Dryad, or if I hadn't been paying attention, I would have played the Dryad and I would have been punished by the Boil. So like by playing around it and figuring out what my opponent had, I was able to turn their Haymaker into a straight up blank. So it really is, there's a lot of layers, and there's a lot of trying to figure out, like that's why Tilt it's such a bad idea. That's why tilting is such negative EV is not even funny. Like tilting or blaming things on luck is what will never get you anywhere.
Personal accountability can. Yep. Personal accountability, reflection, and growth is the only way to really grow as a person. And when we're talking about growing as a Magic player too, it's the only way to grow at all. But definitely to grow and learn.
100%.
So Francisco, we're both now eliminated in this Capolo fellows.
How does it feel? Now
that I know how it feels, it's kind of relieving. Like I don't have to
just
worry.
Like going 10-0. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, I went 5-3 against a very stacked field. I didn't play optimally. I lost to Aspiring Spike. I lost to Drake Sasser, and I lost to Garrett Martin. So I lost to 3 good players. So I'm perfectly okay, and I'm at peace because I beat 5 good ones as well.
All right.
How
That's a great way to put it.
Now, obviously, I feel if I had played a little bit better, this could have been a little different. But you know what? I can't win every tournament, and there's some darn good players here.
For sure. For sure. It was great. It is great. There's still more to come. We're still going towards the final. We don't even know who's going to get there. We know that Andreas looking very, very nicely towards in his route towards the finals. So how many players do we have left now? How many players are live? We had 6
We
last
have
time, I think.
Drake, Ghost, Capolo, Spike. Is that just 4 players left?
That's 4.
Yep. So I came in 5th.
Right.
Yep.
Whew.
4 players left. Tomorrow we're gonna see some pretty good modern action. We're gonna see Ken Capolo we're going to know tomorrow who's got the easy path to the finals.
All right.
And then on Thursday, we're going to see who's coming from the elimination bracket to get to the finals. And then we're going to have the finals themselves.
On Thursday.
There's 2 more days of
Sounds
modern
amazing.
action.
Sounds amazing.
So we had full Team Ice cast tonight. Scott's still there. He just hasn't blinked.
He's there. He's there in spirit.
Yes, the Modern Streamers League is over this week. We've had this is our 4th week of modern action.
Full month.
Full month. It's been pretty sweet. We started the week of my birthday, and we're ending on the 28th. So pretty fun. I turned 30. I grew a lot. This league. I turned 33. I had my first MSL loss.
You have your beard also.
Look at this. This beard grew. This is my tournament beard. This beard is just from the tournament. So now do I shave it because I lost? I don't know.
I mean, I would if I were you, out of shame, so people hopefully don't recognize you.
Yeah. I have to show my face.
Was that too real of a dagger? Is that too much?
I think I earned every dagger that was thrown my way. With that, I mean, I think the aspiring Spike one was just it was a big punt, but it wasn't the Spider Space match, which I was ashamed. I want to get that cut, the foot. Like, I want to get that where it's. I want to remove that bar and just show the chat where I'm like, oh no, this is streamed. Oh no, I can't believe that just happened. And then that's at the reclamation stage line, and then the other one. When I go for Boros Garrison and I type like a minute before, or I wrote, oh man, that damping sphere means I don't have lethal, and then I grabbed the Boros Garrison anyway. Like I don't.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
But you know what?
It was a good stream. It was a good stream. I liked it.
It was fun. Hopefully, it was educational for everyone, and
for posterity.
Just for KO Diamonds and for Andrea, you're welcome. I'm now out of the tournament. You know, KO Diamond's been out of the tournament for a long time. But Andrea, hey, you don't have to worry about beating me anymore. You can just go and take this thing. Please lose at least one match, so I'll be the only undefeated MSL player. But go on, win this thing.
Too much at stake. Too much.
The MSL
too much at stake, and that steak is medium rare.
Yes. So if COVID-19 continues, we will probably try to get another Modern Streamers League this summer, like midsummer, to see if we can get a 3rd league in, if there's interest and if players want to keep participating, because it's fun and I can't work, so my wife tells me I have to do something. Yeah.
That's interesting that you're throwing that out there. All right. I'm
throwing it out there right now. It's been a fun stream. Thank you, Francisco. Thank you, Unblinking Murloc. I'm sorry. Be safe in that he's got a terrible storm right now. He's got no internet, so be safe. Be safe, Scott. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Thank you all for watching my tremendous punts. Thank you all for being either supportive or mean. I'll remember who is who. Francisco is both supportive and mean, so I guess that's what a good Team Ice teammate does. So thank you very much, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. Tune in tomorrow night, and we will see who's got the easy path. We will have answer. At least one of the players is going to be in the championship, and we'll know that tomorrow. It'll be down to 3. Right now, we are at 4. So we will see you tomorrow night. Have a great night. Francisco, anything to add? Any closing remarks?
Yeah, this is great. I feel like I've talked too much today, so I'm down with keeping it short towards the end.
We're done.
Find me at FFablush, YouTube FFablush MTG, and Twitter FFablush MTG as well. It's F plus the last name that you see there,
But not all of it.
without the EK, because it was too easy, so I made it a little bit harder for you to remember.
Mm-hmm.
So it's F, like my name, Francisco, and then Pavlush, SZ without the EK. All
So
right?
what I'm hearing right now with your name is that if you'd taken a couple more seconds to think about not your land drops, but your letter drops, your Twitch handle could have had your full name.
Yep.
Okay.
It was too easy, though.
Too easy.
It was too easy. I don't want people to know who I am. I don't want people to follow me clearly, so I'm making it really tough for them.
Yeah, we don't put our full names here for,
Yeah. No. I just want to, like, the people that follow me really care, because they're, like, going out of their way to follow me and stuff. It's great.
Definitely follow them on Twitter. Also follow us at Modern Streamers. You can find me as well there if you're interested in some really terrible paint art, which I like sharing every once in a while. But Francisco, his content is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend it. Definitely check him out. But thank you everyone for hanging out, and have a great night.